What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, but you know what we do. We got the Battle Birds podcast, the best pregame and postgame on YouTube, regardless how our team plays. Let me start by just saying this. The Eagles lose 22-17 to the Cleveland Browns in the game that a lot of the Eagles fan base, including myself, said it's a must win. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how we win it. And I'm always about the moment, but I wanted to win. I would have took a Bendinucci Cowboys type of win here because it's to continue our season. And again, if you look at the NFC East, we're not mathematically out, but my heart is broken. It's breaking. I want to say this again. You know, the team came out the bye looking flat. We so-called addressed the team via the quarterback to the team. I don't see a response. I don't see a response from the offense to Wentz. I don't see a response from Doug to the offense. And I don't see a response from Carson to the offense. And again, I'm not going to try to start the finger pointing because there's a lot of blame. Again, let me just give you a couple of things real quick. Carson Wentz is now sacked 40 times on the year. In 2019, Carson Wentz was only sacked 37 times. Put that in perspective. Carson Wentz played 16 games and got sacked 37 times. He is now in game 11 with 40 sacks. Is that the reason why Carson's playing bad? Who knows? And at this point, I don't care. This team had to show me, and they didn't show me. Carson Wentz, more turnovers on the resume, whether if it's Alshon Jeffrey not jumping or him getting blasted while trying to check the ball down. And a lot of people are going to say about the Rager being open. I want to look at that on the All-22. The replay did show me like he was open, but again, I don't like to pass criticism because there's enough criticism that's going to get passed on this team before I judge. But let's just say this. Again, the offense failed us once again, whether you want to go O-line, play calling, Carson Wentz, receivers. No matter where you want to put it, the offense of this football team again failed us. The defense played pretty decent. Go ahead, guys.
Go ahead, Steve.
What's good, everybody? Steve, K-City Sports. Hey, look, man. I thought the beginning of this game said it all. We put the ball in the running back's hands. We moved the ball. We had an unfortunate fumble. It sucked. Definitely in the red zone, not something you want to see. It bothers me, though. Mike, you said it backstage. How many times we run the ball in that first drive?
Oh, yeah. We ran the ball 8 times on the first drive.
Take that number into context, guys, for the rest of the game. Means there was only 13 other times we put the ball in the running back's hands in crappy field conditions. I mean, I'm so over Doug Pederson right now. I'm not going to lie. I see a lot going on here. The offensive line is just horrible. I mean, but the decision not to move Wentz. Dude, the first pick, man, he got lit up. I mean, he came off the read late. I'll give you that, guys. He came off that read late. He did. But he got lit up, man. And I just keep getting this feeling like this dude just does not get it, man. That you've got to establish the run. You've got to move the pocket. Like, it's just too stale. His play calling is too stale. It's too easy to figure out. You don't need to run that much film on us to know what we're going to do. I'm mad, man, because like Mike, you said it before Reese came back, and I'll say it so everybody else can hear it. I agree with you, man. We are more than a quarterback away for you guys saying that it's just a quarterback. We are a lot more than a quarterback away from being a competitive football team right now. There is a lot going on at the surface, or under the surface, I should say. Like, this is just a bad performance, man. I don't even know what to say until I can see the film on this game because it's just too ugly to try to zone in on one thing right now.
And real quick, before Fresh goes, the conditions were bad, so it's hard to grade. Like, if you're trying to grade individuals, it gets harder under conditions. That's why the strong football teams win in the rain. The tough, the mentally tough, and we're not none of them. So go ahead, Fresh.
That. What's going on, man? You know what it is. It ain't Philly Fresh today. It's the general. Let me take hold on. Because y'all know what I'm in the general. I gotta put the hoodie on, man. You know what it is, man. Listen, let me tell you something. Doug Pederson freaking stinks. Lane Johnson was not good. Lane Johnson was not good. But Peters, oh my gosh, how bad was he? Listen, let me tell you something. It's crazy that the little spurt that John Mailata came in, he was better than Peters. I don't get it. I understand you gave this man $10 million or whatever the case may be. But this dude, he don't got it. He's bad. He's horrible. And, you know, shout out to you, Mike. Shout out to you, Gate City, for talking about the running. I don't get it. I understand that Miles Sanders fumbled. So the hell what? Because when Carson Wentz throws an interception, you still put the ball in his hands. Why can't you do that with the running game? It's so frustrating. Now, here's what I'm going to bring up that you guys didn't. I don't know if y'all feel the same way about this that I do. I don't know if the chat feel the same way about this. We got robbed. That pass interference on Fulgham in the end zone was heartbreaking.
He did climb up his back. He climbed him like a monkey bar.
Like, bro, how much clearly is a pass interference than that? And why is it that as soon as Baker Mayfield gets hit? Now, can we go back to the Baltimore game? I'm gonna bring in the perspective. Gates, Mike, the chat. I want y'all to follow me on this. Remember when Carson Wentz was running with the football? He got hit. He was trying to turn his legs up to get more yardage. They ripped the football up. They called it a fumble. They did not stop.
That forward progress was trash. It was too much of a bang bang.
Hold on, Mike. Let me go. Give me my second, man. Let me go.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate you, guy. Listen, when you look at it, Baker Mayfield got hit. Not even a second later, they blew the whistle. What? And he fumbles the football. That was so deeming that like when you're a defense, because I don't play defense, I play linebacker. When you are a defense and you see that, it just hurts so bad because it's like, dude, and then you can't even challenge it. It's an unchallengeable play. And then they go on and score a touchdown. Now the defense should have held up, but I think the defense did a pretty good job being in that predicament. Now, when a defense turned the football over finally, what did my man Carson, number 11, Wentz do? He gave you a touchdown. Instead of starting at his 9-yard line. Let me tell you something. Greg Ward, he needs to not bring back punts ever again. I'm tired of seeing it. His decision-making on special teams is horrible. It's time, and yes, I am going to say this. I know Philly Notion probably is not in the chat, but I am going to say this. It is time to bring up Killings to field punts. Why? First of all, it's not only that he made bad decisions with the football or not catching the football. It's the fact that I seen him catch a punt. Nobody's on the left-hand side. He runs straight to the, why? You're not a magnet to the defenders. Why are you running to the defenders? Run outside. Once again, bad play calling. Once again, bad situational football. Once again, putting the quarterback in the offense behind, I ain't gonna say behind the sticks, but putting them in the other team's red zone. You know what I mean? And the safety. I know people going to grind Carson Wentz up saying he should have got rid of the football. But you want to know why he didn't? Nobody was that hell open. Now, maybe he should have threw it away, but
can't in the pocket.
It would have been a safety any damn way.
Correct. You got, yeah.
Go ahead, bro. I'm done.
I just want to say this real quick before we get into some more deeper thought, interact with the chat and all that. Look, this was a game that we just needed to see something, not from any individual players. If you were looking for Carson Wentz to have a breakout game, if you were looking for Doug Pederson to have a breakout game, no. We were just trying to secure the win. When you play a football game in ugly weather, it's that grinder type game. It's who wants it more, who plays cleaner. The field position matters more when it's raining a tsunami. If Carson Wentz is throwing these passes in bright, shiny days in California, it's a lot different. And I'm not going to give Carson an excuse. As you guys know, Philly Fresh grinding me up for being a little bit harder and saying Baker had a better season so far, who had 0 touchdown passes in this game, and he's dancing. He's dancing because we are set up to lose. Look, I said this, and Gate City elaborated on it real quick. 8 runs in the first drive. If you look at the Philadelphia Eagles running back situation, you got 16 carries for Miles Sanders, and you got 5 carries for Boston Scott. That's a total of 21 carries. If 8 carries came on the first drive, that means the rest of the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, and guess what? You're like, fourth quarter, we can't run. There was times in the fourth quarter where we were down by 2. 2. A 1-possession game. And we ran the ball because we all can do math. I'm a little drinky, but 13 more times. Unacceptable. This offense is unacceptable.
I think it was one of our devout followers of all 3 of us here. I believe it was Sexy Vegan that posed the question early on, during our pregame where he said, "Do you think we'll run the ball 25 times?" With insinuating the running backs would get the ball 25 times, and we all laughed, right? We were all like laughing, like, "No, man, like you're right. It should happen. You're absolutely right. You got the point right." But none of us trust Doug. And it looked for a moment like he was going to do the right thing. And it went away. He went away from it, man. Like, I'm so frustrated right now with Doug, man, because I know that Doug can do some things really well, but I don't feel like it's play calling right now. I don't feel like it's designing a scheme right now. I feel like he caught lightning in a bottle one year. He had the right coaches in place alongside of him to catch that lightning. And I'm not sold on the fact that it's all here right now. And
that is, I agree with that.
Mike, I'm almost to the point where does Jordan Howard get into Philly yet? Because I'm about to drive from North Carolina to go pick him up. Make sure he gets in there nice and safe. We need an attitude adjustment. We need somebody who can set the tone on this football team.
Yeah, but as Fresh was
correct
going
me
to say,
if I'm wrong, Fresh and Mike. Do we not look soft out there?
Super soft.
I ain't gonna say we looked at super soft. I think the defense came to play. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It got kind of shaky in the second half, but that's gonna happen. Like, I felt as though Cleveland did a good job of trying to wear your football team to go ahead and get at your super Yoda. Go ahead, bro.
Real quick. Jake Hill, shout out to my guy. Had that courage, had that, energy in the pregame and picked us at the end with a super chat. Shout out to you, my guy. $2 super chat. Y'all blaming this on Doug as a cop-out. I'm going to let everybody answer this. I just want to say this to Jake Hills. Look, Carson had his share of blame in this. But again, as the leader of the football team who can call the plays in a pouring down rain game, listen, you see time and time again, how many times have Tom Brady and the New England Patriots win a rain game in Gillette where he throws the ball 15, 20 times? You know what I mean? How many times does that happen? You got to call around the stuff. And Miles Sanders, it wasn't no 6 yards per carry at the end of the game, but when we finished this game, Miles Sanders had 4.1 or 4.2 yards per carry, and Boston Scott had 4.8. And again, 8 back-to-back runs. I don't want to be a broken record, but when you do that in the first quarter or the first drive, and then you only establish 13 more runs, and it's raining, let me ask you guys this. We were shutting down Cleveland Browns run. Mm-hmm. We ran the ball better than Cleveland, but I bet you they got more run attempts. Now, I don't know this. Let me look it up, but I'm just the game feel. Maybe I'm wrong, and somebody in the chat, or I'm going to look at myself, but I still believe they probably ran the ball more than us. And this game was never out of reach. We were always a possession away. Always a possession away. So you could run the ball. There's no excuses. We weren't down 10-15. So, hey, Jay Kills, I'm going to let these guys answer. But look, I am not going to sit up here and look at you and say Carson Wentz was perfect. But in these conditions, it's hard for a quarterback to be perfect. But Carson Wentz made some bad decisions. I'm going to say that. And y'all go ahead and do y'all thing.
This one I'm going to say.
So I never...
Go ahead, Reese, my bad.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I don't agree, bro. I don't think it's a cop-out, man. I think you're copping out by trying to spin it this way, to be real with you. Because you can sit there and try to make excuses and say Carson didn't have his best game. I agree. You can say the offensive line was trash. I agree. You can say that receivers weren't separating. I agree. But when it all comes down to it, brother, I've coached this game a lot. I know when your team is not mentally prepared to play a football game, that's the coaching staff. I know when you keep getting repeated pressure in your quarterback's face and you don't move the pocket, that's coaching. When you don't design anything to get your receivers any kind of separation, that's coaching. This is Doug, bro. This is Doug, man. You got to wake up, bro.
It's Gates. I can't, if I can't say it better. You know what I mean? When you look at it, people want to say Carson this, Carson that, and I guarantee Jay Kill, that's probably what he's getting at. He's probably saying this on Carson because when you look at the paper and you don't really break down tape and you don't really look at the game, you're saying Carson Wentz 2 picks. Wow, again. No, that's not really what happened. Now, the last pick, I gotta really look at that one. You know what I mean? You want to say Alshon Jeffrey should have fought for it. All right. But I just felt as though Carson Wentz at that point, he was just pressing the issue. You know what I mean? As he does, as he gets into. The first pick, not on him. Now, what I can say is I looked at that play, and Gates, I know that you say you need to look at the tape. Nah, listen to me. I'm going to tell you what happened. What happened was when he looked at Rhaegar out the corner of his eye, because Mark or whoever that was commentating, talking about that wasn't his first read. He was just open. So they don't know what the hell they talking about. So they just say, oh, that was your read because he was open. No, I'm going to tell you what happened. He looked out the corner of his eye. He seen that he was open. He looked there and he kind of, I don't want to say double pump, but he hesitated because the safety was coming down. And I think if he threw that football, it would have been an interception anyway. I'm not even going to lie to you. Now, he didn't have time to get to his check down. Once again, Steve, Mike, what do we ask of Carson Wentz? If it's not there, check it down. He tried to check it down, and he couldn't do it. He got hit from behind. Like, I just need people to understand what's going on. It's just not the quarterback making bad. You know what I mean? And once again, I know people say that I'm a Carson Wentz not supporter, but I'm a Carson Wentz whatever.
Apologist. They like to use apologists.
Yeah, cool. I don't give a damn. I'm looking at football. When Carson Wentz is wrong, I say he's wrong. When I feel as though he does something wrong, I say that he's wrong. But in that instance, I don't feel as though he is. Now, the second pick, from right now, I'm going to put it on Carson Wentz. I'm not going to put it on Alshon Jeffrey. You know what I mean? I'm going to put that on Carson Wentz. But I thought as though he was trying to press, and he just wanted to score. And once again, he's put in a bad predicament. He's put in a bad situation. And what I was saying before, Mike was talking about the super chat. I was basically saying is I don't think that we were soft. I thought as though the defense came into play. You know what I mean?
I think the offense was soft and not running the ball. We take over from the head coach. It's a grinded out type game. But real quick, hey, I just want to say this, Philly Fresh. I actually think it's opposite. I think I think actually Alshon didn't even jump. So regardless, why you throw a jump ball at the 5-yard line, if you're going a jump ball, it better be in the end zone, blah, 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 blah. But it comes down to, I do think that Reagor was open. I think Reagor was the read he was supposed to hit, and I think he checked it down because of the pressure. But again, once he made a decision to check it down, whether it's the right decision or wrong decision, anybody getting smacked is going to have the ball fly not where they want it to. I just think that, man, pull the trigger. And yeah, Sendejo did come down, I think, a little late, but I want to get Gates' take on that. But real quick, shout out to Gang Green with the $4.99 super chat. You can't succeed in the pocket if you got 1 second to get rid of the ball. And also, if the receivers can't get no separation, what can Wentz do?
Thanks.
And that was a lot of listen, the game was ugly all around. And you know why it was ugly? Because it was in ugly conditions. Whether it's the receivers not getting separation because they just can't, whether it's because of the rain, this was a game that said, oh, Doug, you read the game, the scouting report right, run the ball. And then he lost it somewhere 5 minutes into the game. But Takeem Hilton with the $5 super chat, Wentz wouldn't have made bad decisions if Doug would have stuck with the run game on a rainy day. Shaking my head, stop defending Doug. Doug is a coaching liability.
Yeah, I agree. So, Mike, my perspective on the pick 6 INT, I think that's one you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
To be real with you guys, it's incredibly difficult to judge that. I mean, my gut assessment here is that Carson did come off to the check down read just a split second too late. But when people are saying things like, well, the Reagor route was open, it may have been, I won't know until I see the all 22 and I can really see what's going on here. But unless I can get in a room with Carson, Doug, and Press Taylor and sit down and walk through what the progressions are on this play, because that's the thing that these guys love to do. Oh, this was wide open. Tell me the progressions first, guys, because you're jumping the gun. It can come open, but if it doesn't come open in the window of time where the progression is, it doesn't matter. That's the problem. Now, I can't really say until I know the progressions. That's the issue. Like sometimes it's really obvious to see the progressions. Like there was one play where he got lit up, another play he got lit up, and it was clearly a sail concept. They're running a sail concept. They had Reagor going vertical. They had someone coming across on the actual sail route, and they had a player releasing in the flats. And Cleveland dropped back into a zone coverage and had it completely covered.
That was on a safety?
That might have been the safety play, actually. That might have been it. But like that's on Doug, man. Like you can't keep scheming the same thing over and over and over again.
Hey, you absolutely right, Gates. J Kill, once again, and I'm gonna do this for you, Mike. I don't usually do this, but shout out to J Chills for the super Yoda, the super chat. Talk about third down production. All Doug? No, but it is a lot of the offensive line. Let me tell you something. It was a third down. They had a 3-man rush. 3-man rush, just 3 men. And Carson Wentz didn't have time to look at his first read. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, when you look at it, man, Jason Peters, I need him. First of all, you're messing up your Hall of Fame thing, man. Like, you're messing up your Hall of Fame thing. Like it's looking bad for you, dude. Like you have been bad. Like Michael Jackson bad. Michael Jackson with the red leather jacket with the zippers bad. That's how bad you've been. You know what I mean? And I know Mike and probably young guys probably don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
I'm right there. I'm right there on the cusp.
But on the bad cover, he had the leather jacket, the red leather jacket, all that. But listen, let me tell you something, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's getting to the point to where as though, and I said this early in the week, Doug, if you don't give up play calling, you're gonna lose your freaking job. Stop being stubborn, because it's not working for you. And now we can't blame it on Press Taylor. He wasn't there. We can't it's all on you. And once again, what did we talk about? The first 15 scripted plays, right, Steve? Right, Mike? We talked about the first 15 scripted plays. The first 15 scripted plays I thought was beautiful. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, you seen no faults. You know what I mean? You seen them running the football. You seen them running the football. But then what does Doug do? He turns back into Doug. He does Doug things. You know what I mean? We didn't have too many penalties, even though I'm still befuddled on how you're a defensive lineman and you jump. The ball is right in front of you, literally. All you gotta do is watch the football. Like, I don't understand that. It's a whole lot of situations when you look at it. Once again, I think that we was unprepared. You know what I mean? The defense did show up. Once again, I think TJ Edwards, I think he played a good game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, he did a lot of things. I thought Josh Sweat played a good game. Now he did. Oh my God! I don't know how Baker Mayfield got him with the ooly oop like that.
Oh my God, that was the onlyest fake. Like, this man was in the game. Turned around.
He literally looked back and then looked back and then looked back again. Like, where the football? But
that would have been a big sack.
Yeah, that would have been. But other than that, I thought Josh Sweat played good. Derek Barnett went out. Fletcher Cox went out. I hope the best for them. You know what I mean? Jason Kelsey went out. And I want to give y'all. I want to hear y'all take on this. How do you feel about Jason Kelsey just being stubborn and saying, "I'm not going in the tent"? You don't have nobody on the sideline and say, "Dude, get your behind in the tent." These are elite, because we can get fined. Well, not we, but the Eagles can get fined for things like that. You have to, if we're telling you to go in the tent, you have to take your behind in the tent. And for you to walk up and down the sideline and say, "I ain't going in no tent." Dude, who the hell are you? Like, I just feel as though these veteran players that was here when we won a Super Bowl, they just got too much clout. And that's a problem. We are always going to be soft if you let these players do what they want. It should be no reason why Jason Kelsey is not listening to the staff. You are a player. You are my employee. If I tell you to pick up trash, you do it. Like, I don't get it, man. I want y'all take on that.
Real quick, let me get to this and I'm gonna let Gate go. Eagles body bag, appreciate the $5 super chat. He said he was open. Lane didn't pick up the blitz. He let him through. I'm a little bit off what we were talking about because of it, but listen, there was a lot of times that the blitz was let go. So look, real quick before Gate goes about that, I want a big picture thing. Look, week 16, 2019, when you tallied all the sacks on Carson Wentz, who played the whole season, it was 37. Week 11, tally them up, it's 40. Bro, just put that in perspective. We're 5 games less with more sacks. Go ahead, Gate. On what Fresh was saying.
Sorry, Fresh. Can you repeat that again, man? Your question,
no,
just a question.
I'm as a culture standpoint. I've been in tough locker rooms. You know what I mean? I've been in the situation to where though coach don't play that. You know what I mean? You do what the hell I said, and to have a guy like Kelsey just say, "I'm not going in a tent," nationally, and people looking at it nationally, that's soft when it comes to your coaching staff, trainer staff, whatever the case may be. You cannot let that happen. Dude, get your behind in the tent. You are an employee of the Philadelphia Eagles. If we tell you to get in the tent, you have to get in the tent.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of it's got to do with frustration, but I definitely think you're onto something, Fresh, just because we all know Doug's not really like that. He's not that like disciplinarian type coach, really. That's he's more of the players kind of guy. There are some issues with discipline on this team. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, we're constantly jumping off sides. We're constantly having we're constantly having legal formations. We're having, false starts coming on us, like just simple stuff that you should be able to clean up, man. You shouldn't be 12 weeks into a season still having these kind of recurring issues happening. So, I mean, there's certainly some discipline issues going on there. We can get into, is that creating some of the stuff we're getting into? Like, I saw Jalen Williams put a comment up in regards to third down. And he said, everyone wants to talk about, was that Doug on third down? the question you need to ask yourself is why are we facing so many 3rd and longs? That's a pretty good question. Like,
this is one of the reasons. Go ahead, just read that stat real quick, and then we get it.
Browns running backs 33, Eagles running backs 21. Like, there's so much going on. You can clearly see under the surface. I see people going back and forth in the comments. I don't really like to get involved in that stuff, but I did see a couple where some people are saying, like, look, Frank Reich won us that Super Bowl. Some people are saying, like, oh, these people are being, blah, blah, blah. They want to get rid of a Super Bowl winning coach. I think you're misinterpreting what we're saying to begin with. None of us are saying that they should fire Doug outright. We're saying Doug needs to give up play calling. So you're misunderstanding something right from the start.
Yeah.
But number 2, I got to push back a little bit on the Frank Reich won us the Super Bowl. I think what is apparent is Frank Reich was a very large reason why we won the Super Bowl. But Doug deserves credit in that too.
Because he still called the plays.
And I would never take that. I would never ever take that away from Doug. But I see a couple people. I see a couple people might ask and like, never mind. I ain't gonna get that. But
you know what I'm saying? Like Doug deserves credit for that. But guys, you can't sit here in the same right and say that you're trying to tell me you think this is all Carson. I'm not saying Carson is blameless. Like Carson deserves blame here. Carson has not been good this 2020 season. But this is a lot of system-based issues.
Hold up. Has he been better than Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, I think even in this game, if you look at Baker Mayfield was straight garbage juice out there.
I know. He didn't play good.
Horrible.
Did you see his first 4 passes?
Yeah,
they were Uggs. They could have been picked.
You want to talk about oversells and all that? Yo, he is not good. I'm sorry, he is not good.
Nah.
But when you got an offensive line that has stability,
yeah.
Go ahead, Mike. Go
ahead, Gate. Take this super chat.
Gangrene, what's up, man? We appreciate the super chat, buddy. He said, I think the first time they get Wentz out of the pocket, he throws a beautiful pass to Richard Rodgers. But after Doug goes away from it, I don't know. Well, yeah, that's part of it. That's what I'm saying about needing to breathe life into the system. Is that we're getting, you know what we're talking about, Reese. They're getting so much pressure in Carson's face. And
it's not even that he's getting rolled out, though. He's not getting rolled out. And here's what I got to get at real fast. Because a lot of people want to talk about, oh, well, look at how the offenses look against Pittsburgh at the end of the game. Look how the offenses look against Baltimore at the end of the game. No, stupid. It was Carson Wentz getting out of trouble, getting out of sacks, and sitting there rolling out the pocket himself. He wasn't being rolled out by his coach. It was him getting out of trouble, rolling out, and then throwing the football. If you see that, if I am a coach with my own 2 eyes and I see that, I'm sitting here saying, you know what? Damn, my quarterback was pretty good out the pocket. How about I get him out the pocket when I got dudes like Jason Peters getting barbecue chicken, Lane Johnson, barbecue chicken, Matt Pryor. Why are you on the freaking football field?
Hang on. Hey, take that from these Brown fans. Hey, for you dumbass Brown fans saying that Baker didn't throw 2 picks, the hell he didn't. They got dropped.
Yeah. Hey, look, real quick. Trey Brown.
That nonsense.
He said the bodyguard was getting beat up at the club. Yeah, the bodyguard was supposed to keep people out the club, and everybody came in who they want. Let me address this real quick, though. God TV real quick. OGOD TV, I think it is. If you have to roll your quarterback out every play, that's a problem. Your quarterback should be able to pass in the pocket, period. And I'm going to say this. This is my take on him. Listen, I actually say this in my preview video that I put up on Saturday. I said Carson Wentz.
Hang on, Mike, that's why coming at me. I'm about to straighten this motherfucker out. Yo, 2K pre-code, you bitch ass motherfucker. Let me tell you something right now, bitch. Darius Slade dropped one, motherfucker. I remember it clearly. Yo, Rodney McLeod had one where he went for the hit instead of playing the ball that was dropped. Don't act like you got amnesia, motherfucker.
How do all fully fresh kids? I need y'all not to watch this live. I got my guy going in right now, and he's. All right,
look. I want to go. I want to go back and say this. Look. I don't know about. I'm not going to speak for everybody on this panel, but I'm going to give you my.
Can you count like for real? You dumb motherfucker. Do you know how to count 1 and 2? Darius Slade was 1. McLeod was 2, motherfucker. You should have learned that in kindergarten.
Nah.
Yeah. But to be fair though, Gates, they didn't make the play. It didn't happen. So if it didn't happen, it didn't happen.
But we're talking about the way that Baker.
No. I get what you're saying, but if I'm numb, I could always rebuttal and say it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Because Carson actually almost threw a pick too that was dropped too. You know what I mean?
Right. I understand that. I get what you're saying. But I'm saying you can't sit there and trying to discount talking about he didn't throw any picks, bro. He didn't throw any picks because defenders didn't come up with the play. The play was there. He made a bad read.
Let me just say one thing. At the end of the day, both quarterbacks were not good in this game. You got the 2 touchdown Carson Wentz. So he got 2 touchdowns, Baker got 0. He got 2 picks, Baker got 0, but Baker got also 0 touchdowns, which again, you could play both ways. And Baker had a chance to get one. He overthrew the guy by a nice chunk. So look, both quarterbacks were bad. But to go to Carson Wentz, listen, this is a very hard game to just judge him flatly because of the rain. But again, I said this in my preview. My preview was talked about this. You got to get Carson Wentz out the pocket. Once you start doing that, this man gets confidence. Listen, you hear announcers say it. You hear coaches say that press conferences, let's get my quarterback in the groove. Even the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, the Drew Brees, they want the little 3-yard, 5-yard, 3-yard, 5-yard. They get that, they start feeling themselves, and they go deep. Here's the thing. The way to get Carson Wentz in the groove is to roll him out early. I'm not talking roll him out every play. It's physically impossible to roll a guy out every play. But you roll him out early. You get him to see a clear field, use his mobility. He gets some stuff going. And then you can drop him back and he can throw a dime to TF13. He can throw a dime in the... Again, listen. For people who hate Carson Wentz or love Carson Wentz, let's just be honest. Carson Wentz has always been high and low. Even in 17, he missed some high and low. But he's the quarterback that if you got the run game, if you got the play calling, he's going to make...
I got to go out this dude, bro. I got to go out this dude, man. Yo, 2K Creeko. You want to talk about us being...
Hey, who is it? Hey, Gates.
It's Van Turkey.
Real fast, Gates. Who is it?
I don't know who you're
Bring him on. Ask him, do he want to come on? Because
we be too much Carson. Hold up, though. Look, at the end of the day, what I want to say is this. Carson Wentz is a guy who missed high and missed low in his MVP season. But what he does is if you play to his strengths, he's going to miss some, he's going to make some, and he's going to find a way to win. And that's what Carson Wentz has always been about. He's not the Tom Brady, the Drew Brees that drop back in the pocket and pick you apart. He's the guy who rolls out, uses his mobility, uses athleticism, use his big arm, and then once you get him comfortable, well, that's when he drops back and hits a couple dimes in the pocket. So what I'm saying is, look, Carson has been bad, Doug has been bad, but this is the bottom line. Stone Cold Steve Austin said so. Here's the bottom line. Carson Wentz is a $100 million guy. Doug Pederson is a coach. It's going to come down to one of these twos got to either give up play calling or one of these two got to go. I think Jeff Lurie, I'm not speaking for him, but I'm going to say that his $100 million spent, he's going to try to milk it and see. So no matter how bad you feel about Carson Wentz, this is what I'm saying. I will say when Carson Wentz stinks, he didn't play good. I will say when he's good, he didn't play good. But Carson Wentz is not leaving his team in my eyes for the simple fact that they're going to try to exhaust every option. They're going to say, I think there's a coach who can get Carson Wentz right. I think there's a coach who can do this. I think there's a guy who can do this. The same way the Sixers, let's tie us to the Sixers. We're not going to get rid of Embiid or Ben Simmons without trying it with a new coach. And I'm not trying to put Doug Pederson in the Brett Brown conversation because he did win a Super Bowl. But the fact of the matter being, if he don't get it right, Carson Wentz is the guy that this team invested in. I don't know what Doug's getting paid, but it can't be nowhere near Carson. So you take the bigger hit on Carson. So what I'm saying is we have to figure it out or we're going to be in trouble.
I think it depends on the nature of how the season goes. So, how long will the Super Bowl keep them employed? It depends, man. I mean, let's be real. You fall flat on your face and you lose the division. You only win 4 or 5 games. I'm just saying, man, it's gotten other people fired.
Hey, yo, and shout out to Victory for saying, don't mess with Gay City. He coming.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm generally a nice guy, but I'm not going to put up with nonsense.
Yeah, well, look, we're all a little bit off our element. I know Fresh. Fresh is about that. Hey, let him in. Let him in the ring. Hey, Fresh, you good?
I'm good, man.
Hey, look. When a team loses games, there's always an scapegoat. There's always somebody you got to get their finger pointed to. And look, I know other people on this panel feel differently, but I believe it's a consistent effort from the quarterback and coach that we're not seeing. Some games it's Carson, some games it's Doug, some games it's Carson. And again, if you look at the chain of command, Doug Pederson is the leader. So here's the thing. If I know my boxer can't throw a left-hand jab, I'm not going to tell him to throw a left-hand jab. Like, so look, I don't know. I'm trying to do an analogy. It's not good because I'm a little bit under the weather. But at the end of the day, look, coach quarterback situation is not good, no matter how you want to put it. If you think it's Carson, I can't convince you otherwise. If you think it's Doug, I can't convince you otherwise. At the end of the day, the Philadelphia Eagles are putting out a losing recipe day in and day out. Doesn't matter who's losing. We're losing. And there's one person that can correct everything. Not right away, but Jeff Lurie. Yes, here, take the charger. Jeff?
I don't know, but then what point do you implode it, though? All right, Reese, I'll ask you. At what point would you implode everything? Coaching, the team? The problem is that we're locked up in terms of the salary cap. Even though we clearly have deficiencies that we need to address, man, I can't see that you can do much for next year, man, because, I mean, the cap situation is the cap situation.
Gates, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, it's one component to me, I think, that can switch this whole thing around. The whole thing, everything that's going on. Doug just got to give up play caller. I don't care if it's Deuce Staley. I can't hear you, Mike.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Mike. Anyway, Doug got to give up play calling. I don't care if it's Deuce Staley. I don't care if it's Martin Morningwood. I don't care if it's Richie Rich. I don't give a damn if it's me. He needs to give up play calling, man. Like I don't understand for the life of me how people don't understand that it's situational football. It's understanding what's going on. Now, shout out to Doug. He didn't go for 2. I mean, we didn't score a lot of touchdowns for him to go for 2. But he finally didn't go for 2 and all that. He kicked a field goal. Shout out to Jake Elliott for finally hitting a field goal.
Facts.
But when you look at it, man, this team is going nowhere. Nowhere with Doug Pederson in that freaking long behind play sheet. We're going nowhere. I just want to tell y'all that. I'm going to keep picking the Eagles because I'm not going to lie to you, man. When you look at it, when Carson Wentz have his big play, splash plays, it's against the play calling. And I don't think people understand that.
Yeah, it's never a drawn up one.
But do you honestly trust him, though, man? Even if he gives up play calling, do you trust him not to still meddle?
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't care if he meddle. I don't care about that. I just need you not having the final say in play calling.
I want to get the chat. I'm gonna let Fresh go while the chat talks about this. I want the chat's honest opinion. I know it's just right off the game, but I want to know who's on what side, and we're not gonna judge you. Just give your honest opinion. Do you want Carson Wentz to start the next game, or do you want Jalen Hurts to start the next game? Let us know in the chat. Go ahead, Fresh.
What kind of question is that?
Because a lot of people are saying, I just want to see who's on what side. It's nothing against them. Go ahead, Carson.
Gates, go ahead.
Oh, the super chat, or what are we doing?
You start with the super chat.
I don't know.
All right, Finito, man, we appreciate you, bro. You said Wentz needs to be a game manager and gain confidence. Lean on the run game and protect the ball. Frustrating part is Doug will never do it. Yeah, that's not a bad point. Yeah, that's what we're saying, man. We're saying that we started off the game taking that approach, and everything looked good. I mean, we fumbled the ball in the red zone. I'm not going to put that on Doug, but going away from the run following that, that's on Doug. Like, you can't abandon it. Like, guys make mistakes. It's wet conditions out there. Sometimes the ball pops out, man. Like, it was unfortunate. We probably should have put points on the board on that first drive. We didn't. We consider and talk about all the missed executions because it's like we said, guys, there's a lot going on, man. There's a 14-point swing between the pick six and then giving away those points there. That's a 14-point swing. We all know that. But it's just that this team seems like it has no identity at all. I don't know what I would call this team's identity currently. I mean, it's a West Coast offense with spread concepts that are built into it. Nothing we do particularly well. We try to pass from the pocket. We don't have the greatest O-line in the world right now. It gives up entirely too much pressure. We put ourselves behind on down and distances and on the scoreboard, which then causes our quarterback to press, which causes really bad decision-making. Like, we're just bad in all phases of the game right now. It's just facts.
And I just want to say this. Hey, OG, and listen, I'm going to have look, I appreciate you, my guy. All I'm going to say is this, though. In a rainstorm, listen, here's the funny thing, real quick. Doug Pederson and this Eagles offense ran Miles Sanders, week 1, 20 times. So week 1 versus the Washington football team in September weather, we ran Miles Sanders 20 times. Now, Carson Wentz looked bad in the second half, and we lost that game. Okay, we're talking about Doug, though. So Doug ran one running back who wasn't there for training camp 20 times in the first game. And in a rainstorm, rain, go away, he ran him 21 times. As you see this, though, across the field is a Cleveland Brown team who wants to run the ball. However, the Eagles are stuffing the run. Besides that fourth quarter or third quarter 50-yard run, which it happened because they kept grinding at it, we were shutting the run down. Doug Pederson was running the ball effectively and only ran the ball 21 times. So what I'm saying is this team was successful under Nick Foles, under Carson Wentz, when we had the third leading Russian offense. That's Carson Wentz. That's Nick Foles. Third leading Russian offense, run the ball. We haven't had a quarterback that's going to drop back 50 times every game and win you the game. It's just not it. And you could say, well, Carson Wentz should be it. Well, it is what it is. You got to run the ball. You got to play football. You know, defenses are scheming differently. It's a lot of different things. But all I'm saying is this. 21 run attempts after running the ball 8 times in a row. That and you're like, well, why, Mike? Why do you keep saying this? It's because it's crazy to me that a team can run the ball 13 times in the next 45 minutes. I mean, in the next 40 minutes, you run the ball 13 times, and it never stopped raining. We ran the ball 20 times with Miles Sanders week 1. We ran the ball 21 times tonight with our running backs.
Yeah.
It's bad. All around. And again, go ahead.
It's just strange, man, because I just went back and looked at 2017. If we use 35 as the dividing number, right? Generally speaking, you throw over more than 35 passing attempts, it means you're a little pass happy, right? In 2017, How many games do you think Carson was under 35 attempts? What do you think, Mike? In 2017, how many games do you think Carson was under 35 attempts?
Probably close to half.
It's exactly half.
Woohoo! And I didn't look at it. Let's go.
Like, it boggles my mind that what worked when he was playing at that level, it seems we've gone away from it. And the obvious things in the room is that's when Frank Reich left. That's when John DeFilippo left. That's when Press Taylor got moved up and elevated. It's when Doug took over this weird leadership role within the coaching, right? I know we can say like he's not really much of a leader, Gate. I get that, but you don't have a Frank Reich there. You don't have a John DeFilippo on your staff anymore. Now you got really young guys filling in those positions, like those areas. Like Micro had never been an OC before. You know what I'm saying? Outside of college. I mean, college, sure, but I mean, at the professional level, he'd never been an OC before. You know, look at Press Taylor. Press Taylor had never been that. Carson Wentz as a wide receiver coach. Like, you can see as the dominoes fall what's going on here, man.
Hey, look. I mean, look, we're not going to be able to convince other people their own thing. Look, the fact of the matter is this: we are all Eagle fans, so let's stop hating each other and come together. But as Eagle fans, we got to accept that this team is not good. Whether you want to say it's Doug or Carson, I am directly in the middle. You got some Carson people, you got some Doug people, and I'm like, both you guys, step into my office, as Fresh would say. I'm not going to fire him, but I'm going to step him into my office. But look, at the end of the day, as Gate City laid out, we were third in rushing in 2017. Carson Wentz only threw the ball 35 times plus 8. Well, no, he only played 13 games. So it would have been like 6 or 7 times. You know what I'm saying? If you check how many times Carson Wentz threw the ball 35 times this year, it's probably every game but 1 or 2. So again, we're putting more on his plate with less around him. And when I say less around him, I'm not talking about the skill players, which you can debate that. I'm talking about the offensive line. But here's where I draw the line. I believe in Carson Wentz so much that even if he has a game where it's a C, I'm a little down on him. To me, Carson Wentz got to be the superhero, and it's not fair to give him that, but that's where I'm at, and that's where everybody's at in the chat, where it's like, if he's not Superman, well, he's not good. But again, when you lead the league in turnovers, you're going to get some criticism. Go ahead, read the super chat. One of you guys.
Go ahead, Gates.
Fresh is
all right, what's up, Jalen? Appreciate you, man. All right, Jalen say in 2018 and 2019, Carson has the most 10-plus touchdown play drives. He has been the surgeon with no running game and no deep threat. Ask yourself what has changed. Yeah, well, I mean, we can also point out that that's a lot to ask a quarterback, though, to keep driving the field. I think Reese did a pretty good job last game, kind of pointing that out. You can't keep asking a guy to drive 90 yards, and that's a function of all 3 phases of the football game, which is, let's be real, guys, our special teams is bad. Even with a blocked field goal attempt, it's bad. It's just not good. It's all 3 levels of this football team it leaves a lot to be desired. And Mike, to get to your point, what you were saying earlier, I just looked it up for you, not counting this game because they don't have a log yet, but 6 games on the year, he's had more than 35 attempts, 2 games under 35 attempts, and 1 game at exactly 35 attempts.
So again, the Super Bowl recipe where everybody was like, Carson, you the man, 50 grand. He had a run game, and he had a coach that looked at the game, looked at the team we're playing and said, go ahead, Jay Ajayi. Go ahead, LeGarrette Blount. And if you're like, well, we don't have that. Miles Sanders is the every down back when he's on the field. He hasn't been on the field, so there's a lot of problems. And that's exactly what I'm saying. We're not a quarterback away. I am not excusing Carson Wentz's play. But we're Carson Wentz, Doug Pederson, offensive line, and you can give a little bit to the receivers. We are a offense away. If you take this defense and just substitute the whole offense, the Eagles might be pretty good. Hey, I don't know what to say, man. I'm over here. Listen, I've been talking since 11:30, bro. At the end of the day, the Eagles lost the game. We got to be better. Changes got to happen. So, go ahead, Fresh, read this super chat. I know you just get back into the game. I know it's
Go ahead, Gates.
All right, man, I got it. All right, Preston Horns, what's good, man? He said we need to start with Howie. Howie missed DK, CD. We won a Super Bowl. If you are an Eagle player who doesn't believe in the quarterback exit, look, man, I'm not going to blame him on the CD Lamb stuff. Like, he fell in Dallas's lap, man. A lot of teams passed on CD Lamb. I also don't think that CD Lamb makes this team any better than what it is right now, to be honest. I get your point about Howie Roseman, though. It's a fair point. Howie hasn't done the greatest job assembling this roster. I thought, Mike, I think you and I were talking backstage a little bit. I think you had mentioned about, like, you know, he really put it on the line following 2017 to try to build this new culture, right? This new norm. And it failed. The new norm didn't take hold. Like, we went after a lot of free agents. We did a lot of things, and we paid a price. And it didn't work out. We kept guys way past when we should have kept them. Darren Sproles, Jason Peters. Like, we kept guys too long. We went for it. It didn't work. And now we got to figure out a way of rebuilding by it. And Howie missing simultaneously in the draft hasn't helped.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Gates. The way that we won the 2017 NFL Championship, Super Bowl, whatever, is not the traditional way that you do it. We had incremental pieces that we brought in that played lights out. Mm-hmm. These wasn't guys that we drafted. These wasn't guys that were signed to long-term deals. These were one-year guys. Your Patrick Robinson, your LeGarrette Blount, your Torrey Smith. You know what I mean? Even Alshon, he was a first year. He was only 1 year deal until they signed him again. So everything was a 1 year thing. It wasn't like we built a culture to have a Super Bowl contending team, because we've seen in the last 3 years, we have not been a Super Bowl contending team. Now, have we been to the playoffs the last 3 years? Yes, we have. But when you look at it, we needed the Vikings to lose. We needed Chicago to beat the Vikings.
Yeah, we needed some
stuff. So we backpedaled into that one. Last year, I don't think that we backpedaled. I think that we took the NFC lease or East, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
So when you got that and you look at it, you still got dudes like Howie Roseman, Doug Pederson, beating their chests, saying, we won the Super Bowl because of me. All the things that we have been saying is a detriment to this team. Because I have been saying at the beginning of the season, yes, me. Look at it. We did this and we did that. I need to apologize to the chat. I want to apologize to everybody that's watching. I don't know how many is in here. But shout out to all of y'all. I want to apologize to y'all. I had put Doug Pederson as a top 5 coach in this game. I am sorry. He's not. And I don't think that he cannot, that he shouldn't be. You can still be a top 5 coach and you don't got to call plays. That's my only thing with Doug. I think in a situational football. And because I'm not going to lie, we talk about Carson Wentz got to overcome some things. Doug Pederson got to overcome some things too. You got to overcome. Are you freaking kidding me? Howie Roseman, you get to pick who comes up from the practice squad? Why? Who the hell are you? Did you ever set foot on a football field? No, you haven't. Unless it was to talk to somebody. Like, I understand. Doug Pederson got a lot to deal with, and he's just trying to hold on to that little bit of power that he got. Once again, let's talk. Defensive coordinator, hire before you. Offensive coordinator, hire before you. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, man, I get it. But when you look at it, are you trying to will your way into saying, I can overcome this? Or are you trying to have your football team win That's that's the thing that I don't understand. You come out, you want your quarterback to be a game manager, but you don't manage the game. You want to talk about. Can we talk about this? Because Gates, I could have swore you talked about this. What did he say in his press conference? I ain't going to start rolling Carson Wentz out. Didn't he say that? And what did you say? And what did you say, Gates? Thanks, Doug. Now everybody knows that. So what? Did he try to put a wool over our eyes and Cleveland eyes? Because Gates, did you see any rollouts? Mike, did you see any rollouts?
Maybe no,
one or two,
maybe a half or two.
Yeah.
Like. This is what I need. This is what I need Doug to do. Number one, give up play calling. Number two, have somebody else write what you're going to talk to. Have somebody else prep you on what you're going to say to the media, and stop going on WIP. Because you come on there, you try to act like you mad. First of all, that was a bunch of bull crap.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
Yeah, Mike, and Mike, I commented in your video and I said, because I listen to that station all the time. I know the only reason that he said he was pissed and all that because he heard what Angelo said before that. Angelo said it was a vote on who is most to blame, and it was 78% Doug Pederson on who's to blame for the Giants' loss, and he heard that. And then they brought on Doug, and Doug comes on. Oh, I'm freaking pissed. I'm pissed, Angelo. You want to know why I'm just pissed? No, you pissed because everybody looking at you because your play calling stinks.
Yeah. Look, I just want to say this one real quick. Shout out to I can't say it. I'm gonna call you my guy. I'm gonna call you F with the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. There you go. Go ahead, hit it again.
Finico.
There you go, Finico. The only thing I can look forward to next year is possibly a high draft pick, possibly new coaches, and definitely Peters, Mills, Jeffrey, and Gary going. Shout out to that real quick. Let's get this next one in real quick. Beyond Driven with the $4.99 super chat. Doug needs to lose his job. He's too stubborn. Where was the rollouts and where was the run? It was there. He used the whole run up in the first drive. Listen, Doug Pederson got 20 run calls. He used them up early in the game. I don't know. I'm making a joke because it's disgusting. But I'm going to say this. Look, this team is bad. It's bad. And again, I mean, the chat is so divided. The chat says two things. I mean, if you read the chat little by little, they're saying something to one of us, or they're saying Doug is trash, or they're saying Carson is trash. They're either, it's so divided. And at the end of the day, my eyes show both. Whether, again, if you really get into the nits and the everything, you could probably pick a winner who's worst. But Carson Wentz got to be better as the quarterback. And again, is this. If he's the quarterback that gets paid $56 million is different. We paid him like the franchise quarterback. And he hasn't been it. But we also look at Doug like the Super Bowl winning coach. And he hasn't done it. So look, Carson Wentz does some boneheaded plays. Doug Pederson does some boneheaded calls. Oh, Carson Wentz, not the most athletic guy. I'm going to put him in a quarterback keeper on second down. 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 9, quarterback draw. Right up the middle, Carson. Huh? What? So look, I'm not saying
a white Libra. My name is Fully Fresh, aka the General. Not no dude with the big blue microphone. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, forget that guy. At the end of the day, look, we all watched the game. We're going to have to watch it back. I don't know how many people in the chat check the 22, the all 22. I know some people do. Some people wait for other people to put it out. But look, we're going to have our dissection of this game. But look, Carson Wentz didn't do nothing spectacular. But you're also talking about a rainy game where Doug Pederson started his game with a perfect game plan and run the ball. and it switched. Look, myself, do I think Carson Wentz can fully win us a game by himself? No. The way Carson Wentz is struggling this year, he cannot win us a game by himself. So if you want to say that Carson Wentz is a $100 million man and he should win the game by himself, well, then you have it there. But listen.
Wait. What?
I said Carson Wentz is not playing good enough to win the game by himself.
No quarterback can win a game by himself. Mike, that don't make no sense. No quarterback can win the game by themselves. Like, what does that even mean?
Well, all right. What did Carson do the last 4 games of last season? He put the team on his back. At this point, this year, Carson can't put the team on his back.
He didn't do it by himself, though. You forgot Boston Scott, Giants game was
balling. Hold on.
Balling. Perkins was balling.
Fresh. I agree there. But listen, did we not say that Carson put the team on his back or not? Fresh.
That's a difference from saying he did it by himself.
Okay, then let me reword it. At this point right now with Carson struggling, he can't put the team on his back. That is what I'm going to say then, Fresh. You heard? The way Carson put the team on his back last year, he can't do it this year. But that's not to discredit Carson as a player. We need to just be better all around. Fresh, can Carson at this point put the team on his back?
Against like against who? Like what do you talking about for this stretch?
For any game going forward. The Cleveland game. Did he put the Giants game? Can he do it? Not this year.
We'll see. I mean, when what else do we got? like when you look at it, what else do we got? Like, but even in them games, Doug Pederson was running the football. Like we want to say, see, here's the thing: when a quarterback puts a team on his back,
hey, Gate, get the pass run ratio last year. Go ahead. Why Fresh goes?
All right,
go Fresh.
No, go ahead, Gates. Go ahead.
No, I'm only asking him to look it up because he's quick with looking it up. Go ahead, Fresh.
Basically, I don't even remember what I was saying, man. I don't even remember what I was saying. Go ahead, Gates.
Oh, you got it already, Gate?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. All right, so 2019. Sorry, guys, it's loading.
Shout out to 250 in the chat. Smash that like button wherever you're watching. No matter if you love or hate Carson Wentz or the Eagles, you still got to support the fam. You know what I mean? Hopefully you like us. You know what I'm saying? So hit that like button. If you don't like us, hit the dislike button. It don't matter. Or get up out of here. Either way, we rocking out. And Wyatt Lowe's Fresh, I just want to say, look, what I'm saying is Carson Wentz is struggling. Our coach is not getting Carson Wentz out of the struggle. So at this point, I don't see Carson carrying the team like I know he could in the past, is what I'm trying to say. You heard?
All right, Mike, 59 to 41% pass to run.
So again, we didn't run the ball that much last year, but Carson was still able to find a way with practice squad players. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing a different coach. I'm seeing a different quarterback. Maybe the quarterback is different from the coach. Maybe the coach is different from the quarterback. I don't know. It's up to you guys.
In 2017, for comparison, in 2017, 51 to 49%.
Opposite?
Yeah, 51% pass, 49% run.
Close. We lost it.
It's a lot of it's scheme based. Like, Doug had a specific way where he used to like to try to gain the lead, then run the clock out on teams. Like, you know what I mean? But you got to adapt. And that's what I feel like would happen, man, is he hasn't adapted his scheme. And like these dudes watch film all the time. Like they got folks out there like me that they pay on the side to do nothing more than look up like what you're doing. Like, what are your tendencies? And then they bring it to the organizations. Like, they got to understand, like, this stuff is like a network of people that working and doing this stuff, man. We even hired a guy. We hired Brenner to do this. That's what he does.
Hey, look, I don't know how much longer you guys want to go, but at the end of the day, shout out to Eagles fan keeping it real with the $4.99 super chat. Howie is going to make moves. Hello to Lincoln Riley. head coach next season. Wow. Going to a head coach from the college ranks. Look, all I'm going to say is this. I want the chat and Eagle Nation to stop blaming individuals and start just saying, we stink. We stink. I mean, and when you really look at it, you can say we stink because of this or that and this, but at the end of the day, we are now 3-6-1. Y'all got anything else to say off the 3-6-1?
We are what the record says we are. I mean, we're a 3-6-1 team. I mean, we've played like one. We kill ourselves a lot of the times. We get better with the execution, but I'm gonna be real with you. I think we have to shake up the scheme. I don't think it's going to get any better this year, guys. I don't have any faith it's getting any better this year because I think you're going to need time to implement a new scheme. I think they need to reconsider giving other people like ability to call plays. Like, I mean, look, I'm not trying to pound the drum on different things here, but like Deuce Staley probably deserves an opportunity to be incorporated into play calling here. I'm just going to be real. I don't know why we don't take a committee approach. Deuce Staley is probably, besides Jeff Stoutland, the next guy with a lot of coaching experience in this league. You look at a guy like Press Taylor. I mean, he's green. He's a green coach. I mean, the dude's green. He's inexperienced. You know, Aaron Moorhead. I think Aaron Moorhead is something special. I think he's good, but he's young. He ain't had a lot of time. He ain't been here that long.
Correct.
Like, I think there should be more of a committee approach. You brought in a guy like Rich Grandrello. He's been an OC before. He's a long-term coach. He's been a quarterback coach. I don't know what we're paying Marty Morningwig for. I have no clue what this guy's getting a check for, but he's getting one. I mean, something's got to happen here, guys.
Hey, Fresh, read the super chat and then elaborate on this or your just last thoughts, because I think we're pretty much ready to wrap it up.
I get Wentz next year, but only with new coaching and GM. If he stinks it up next year, then we gotta cut our losses and move on.
So he's saying Wentz deserves the second chance, but we need some new coaches. What you got? Anything to say about that?
I mean, he's entitled to his opinion.
So with that being said, Skip Bayless said Andy Dalton is better than Wentz. Ha ha hoo hoo. Who cares about Skip Bayless? Go ahead and give us your last take on this game. Give us like a little something. What do you your Eagles wrap up or whatever it is? I don't know.
Go ahead, Gates.
I mean, there's a lot of issues on this team, man. There's a lot of roster turnover that has to happen. I like Jalen Hurts as a player, but taking him in the second round, it was a huge mistake, especially the way that they've been trying to use him. Like, there's a waste to pick right now. Davion Taylor, I like the kid, but you're not using him. You're basically saying he doesn't have the experience to play, but you took him in the third round. You compound those picks when you had needs on this football team, big needs on this football team. It's a problem, man. This stuff's a problem. It's compounding, man. All this stuff keeps compounding here. There's a lot of personnel shortcomings here, right? There's a lot of stuff with the design in the scheme. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. Like, Carson has played better. He's had way better stretches than we've seen this year. He's not been good this year. He hasn't. But there's a lot of extenuating circumstances that make it really difficult to try to diagnose and do that. Like, you got to set this man up for better field position than he's been getting. And we've got to put him in better situations. It just feels like the way they're approaching him is like you're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. That's what it feels like. We're trying to turn him into Alex Smith, and that's not who he is. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Real fast chat. Nah, I ain't depressed. You know what I mean? I'm kind of mad. I'm kind of discouraged at a couple things. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, It's more Doug to me, and I can't emphasize that as much as I would like to. You know what I mean? When you look at it, man, it's like, dude, when are you going to get it? You're not going to get it until you're gone. You know what I mean? They say get it while the getting's good. Well, you're going to get it while you're gone. You know what I mean? And it's going to hit you in the head, and then you're going to be like, damn, I'm out of a job because you don't get it. You don't understand. It's pouring down raining. Like, it's literally pouring down raining. You have Jason Peters getting blown up damn near every single play. But he's doing good when it's come to running the football. You know what I mean? Even Lane Johnson, I don't know what's going on with Lane Johnson. I don't know if he's still hurt, but I never seen him get bull rushed like that. He literally got sat in Carson Wentz's lap almost. Like, I never seen that happen to Lane Johnson. Matt Pryor, what? Like, I don't even, why was he even in the game? Asa Salamalu came back. I gotta really do some tape and really break down what he did. I don't know if he had a bad game or a good game. You know what I mean? But when you look at it, man, what have we been since 2017? Offensive line, defensive line. This is where everything starts. This is where people get paid, and this is where you get your money's worth. We are not getting that. A lot of people want to say, oh, Carson Wentz is getting $100 million. I give you that. Is Carson Wentz playing like $100 million man? No, but is he given the opportunity to play like $100 million man? No, the hell he's not. Because things are not being fixed. You've seen Tom Brady just get demolished. He got demolished a couple games ago. What did they do? They came out and they fixed the problem. They ran the football more. They didn't get Tom Brady out the pocket, but the quick passes. Let me ask y'all this. Did y'all see any quick passes? Did y'all see anything schemed open to where as though it's 3 yards and you let your wide receivers or your playmakers make a play in the middle of the field, or even just in the field period? I don't see them all across the league. You look at game tape all across the league. You've seen dudes being schemed open and being able to make plays after a 2-yard catch. We don't do that. You know what we do? We do the same stupid ass a screen play from one side of the field all the way to the other side of the field to freaking Greg Ward. What the hell is he going to do? Listen, I ain't gonna lie, I'm pissed, man. I'm pissed for multiple reasons, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. It's coming to the point, and I'm always gonna give y'all content. I'm always gonna come up here. I'm always gonna say what I say, but I was kind of quiet today. I apologize for that, but when I look at it, man, it was some things that was gonna, it was some things that I was gonna say that like a lot of people wasn't gonna like. So I try to be quiet. I try to keep myself composed. You know what I mean? And I'm giving y'all how I feel. I feel as though right now the Philadelphia Eagles freaking stink, and it's because of Doug Pederson. And it's nothing that like if you want to give a freaking ranking, man, fuck that, man. You want to give a fucking ranking on Doug Pederson? Let me tell you something. He's at the top of the list, and it ain't nobody close. Doug Pederson. If it's 100%, Doug Pederson is at like 80 for me. I'm so pissed with this dude. I'm looking at it. I don't understand why you don't see what we see. Everybody says run a freaking football. Everybody says it. Everybody says run some screens. Everybody says everything don't got to be up and out. Ain't that what I said in the pregame, Steve? What did you see? Mike, what did you see? Up and out. Everything's up and out. How many things did you see crossing routes in the middle of the field? Why are you not taking the opportunity to make sure that your quarterback has check downs that's not just a freaking running back? You don't have to be a running back to be a check down. You can have a check down in the middle of the field. Did you know that, Doug? Listen, like I said, man, I'm pissed off. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, and I can't hide it anymore. You know what I mean? And the more and more I talk about Doug, people just think I'm trying to absolve Carson. No, I'm trying to just tell you. And it's getting to the fact, Mike and Steve, I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's getting to the fact I want Carson Wentz to go somewhere else. I love Carson Wentz. I just think, could you imagine him with Frank?
Because then you can see something.
Could you imagine him with Sean Payton? You know what I mean? Could you imagine him with a dude like Andy Reid? Like everybody wants to talk about Carson Wentz, man. It ain't him. It ain't him. Watch the freaking game. Watch the game. Go ahead.
Yeah. 2020. Let me push back on one thing you said, man. So you're saying first half, 20 runs and 10 passes, and we had 0 points. 8 of those runs were in the first drive, though. That's the problem with that. We were in position. We were in position to put points on the board. There was a fumble. That sucked. That's not on Doug. But then when you abandon the run following that, that is Doug. Because you were able to control the line. You were able to push the ball. You're able to keep your defense fresh. And you had opportunities to put points on the board. You should have stuck with it. Yeah, it sucks when a dude coughs up the ball. But you can't just abandon it, man. You can't just abandon the run in a game like this.
Look. Let me hit this real quick. Roll Bill with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. Is there an explanation why Doug didn't throw the flag when Baker fumbled? You can't challenge a play that is stopped due to forward contact. The referee said he was going forward too long. Can't stop it. Bad call. Is that why we lost? Well, at the end of the day, the Eagles are so bad, we need every call. So, yes, that's kind of the reason why we lost. But look. I said this on my video on Saturday, and I watched this game. It differs a little, but I still stick by my video. The blame is still to me on Carson and Doug. Doug is still the leader of the team, so it might be flaring 60-40. But look, Doug ran the ball 8 times. Guys, I really want you to listen to what I'm saying. He ran the ball 8 times in the first drive and then ran the ball 13 times in the next 40 minutes. You're not helping your quarterback out. He doesn't roll him out. That's not helping your quarterback out. What I'm saying is Carson Wentz is failing, but Doug Pederson is looking at him failing and saying, okay, I'm still going to be the same. So that's what I'm saying.
Can I ask you a question, though, Mike? What did Carson Wentz do wrong in this game? And that's for everybody in the chat. I want to know what Carson. Now, I understand the 2 picks. Now, the last one, I will give you that because once again, I do not know what happened. But I'm blaming Carson Wentz for that one. But there was the end of the game, and he was trying to make a play. A lot of quarterbacks do that. But I want to know, other than that, what did he do wrong that you've given him 40%?
Right. Oh, God, TV, though. Can I push back? Because, it feels like you got an ulterior motive here. I'm just going to be real. I don't feel like you're being honest.
This is why I want people to come up and speak their piece. But go ahead.
Yeah. None of us here said that Carson has played well this season. We're saying that Doug is compounding the problem by what he's doing. Carson has not been coached right by the quarterback coach.
Perfect example.
It's not good.
Real quick. Perfect example. Baker Mayfield is booty juice. All right. Let me take a Philly notion word, booty juice. All right. Baker Mayfield is bad, but the reason he looks presentable, where I think he had 12 or 14 touchdowns to 7 interceptions prior to this game, because he got 0 in this game. The reason he looks good because the coach managed him. And here's what I'm saying. You're like, well, a lot of people are going to say if Carson Wentz got to be managed, that he's not the guy. He might not be the highest paid quarterback guy, but right now I'm not asking for him to be that. I'm asking for the 2019 Carson Wentz, because let's go back to 2019. He had 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Guys, 27-7. Right now, he's 14-14. You know what I mean? So, what is the reason why? That's what I'm trying to say. Look. Decisions are going to be made, and not Philly Mike, not Philly Fresh, not Gate City Sports. We're not making these decisions. You guys ain't making the decisions. These are going to be beyond us. So if Carson gets shipped out, well, that's on the organization. If Doug gets booted, that's on the organization. You know what us three on the panel are still going to do? Support the Philadelphia Eagles. Simple and plain. But if it comes out to be that a guy leaves us and balls out, well, then we're all going to say, remember? And if it's not, I'm going to allow you guys to look at me and say, it is what it is. Ben Simmons don't shoot, but I'm not trading him yet. I want to see somebody bring it out of him. You're like, he's a grown man. Why he don't shoot? Look, I'm not trying to get into basketball now, but what I'm saying is this. Coaching in the NFL is more important than baseball and basketball because it's a team sport. You got to have everybody on the same page. And I'm not saying Doug as a leader is bad. What I'm saying is this. Here's what I'm going to lie all my eggs on. If the Philadelphia Eagles don't run the ball, we're not going to be successful. Whether Nick Foles was here or Carson Wentz, or give me a good quarterback. You can bring Aaron Rodgers here. You could hold on. OG God, let me say this though. Last year, Russell Wilson was one of the best quarterbacks in the league still last year, right? He was a top 5 quarterback last year, right? OGTV. Russell Wilson was the top 5 quarterback, right? Guess who led the league in rush attempts last year? Take a guess. The Seattle Seahawks. So why? Hold up. OG, why does one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL coach call more runs than passes? Well, not more runs, but he ran the ball dang near almost 49-50% of the time. Pete Carroll, a Super Bowl winning coach, Super Bowl winning quarterback, says give the ball to Chris Carson and pound the rock. He started cooking this year, and it was all glorious until this 3-game stretch where he had 10 turnovers. Dun, dun, dun. So look, again, on this panel, I will say out of my mouth, Carson Wentz this year in a whole, if you want me to talk about a game or series, in a whole, I got to say, kind of stinks. I know Fresh might debate me on that, but I've been saying it. As a whole, Carson Wentz kind of stinks. But there is circumstances that say why he stinks, as there are circumstances that say why he was good. It is what it is.
Look, there's something else someone said earlier I wanted to address real quick. And they were talking about like a $128 million quarterback. You guys want him to run the ball 60 times. There's a $200 million quarterback named Patrick Mahomes who's thrown the ball less than 35 times, 4 times this season.
Say it again.
Just saying.
There's
a $200 million quarterback named Patrick Mahomes who has thrown the ball less than 35 times this season, 4 separate occasions.
How many times has the Eagles did it?
Twice.
So we are, again, coaching staff is treating Carson Wentz like he's Pat Mahomes. He's not. I know Fresh is going to say he could be if he was in the circumstances. And
that's not. It's only one Patrick Mahomes, but I didn't understand what was the point of saying that. He's not saying that. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but they're not treating him like Patrick Mahomes, obviously, because Patrick Mahomes' team is running the football. So, like, go ahead, Gates. Go ahead.
So, all right, Oh God TV. There are times where Carson Wentz's mechanics are off. His footwork gets off. I've done videos breaking it down. I broke it down last season in the Seattle game. I made a freaking infamous video to where I pointed out that something is wrong with Press Taylor. Carson's mechanics shouldn't be this far off. That's a function of coaching. Like, when you can't get your feet situated right, that's coaching, man. Yes, you can say the player burdens responsibility on that, and I agree. But you can't just let the coach slip either on that. And that's a function of coaching because Press Taylor's got too much going on, and I don't think he's a good quarterback coach to begin with. I'm just going to be real. Like, yes, and you keep saying overthrow. I didn't see overthrows. I saw one really underthrow.
Hey, OG God.
Like, he really underthrew a pass to where Greg Ward, I don't know if he expected Greg Ward to turn it back in, and he went out. I don't know what happened. But that wasn't an overthrow. That was an underthrow.
That was a horrible underthrow, yeah.
Like, yeah, I didn't see the same thing you're seeing here, man. But to be fair, I'm not going to sit here and make like definitive statements without seeing the all 22 on this game because I got to look back. You say someone's overthrowing. Why are they overthrowing? Is there pressure in the face? What does his feet look like? Where is his weight at when he releases the ball? Is it on the front foot? Is it on the back foot? Like, is he bouncing in the pocket? Where is that ball carriage at? There's a lot to go through on this stuff. Like, at the end of the day, we know that Carson is not a great product right now on the football field this season.
Facts.
But we're pressing the opinion here that this is a function of coaching that's causing this crap. This is having your quarterback coach be the passing game coordinator and a dude that shouldn't be a quarterback coach to begin with. He didn't have the requisite experience to have that title.
Hold up. Okay? Hey, OG God, what is your excuse for Russell Wilson's team last year? OG, what is your excuse for Russell Wilson's team last year to be the number one rush attempts? Now, Seattle Seahawks weren't the number one rushing team in the NFL, but they ran the ball the most times. What is your reason that a guy as talented as Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion, what is your reason for Pete Carroll running the ball more than any team in the NFL? Please just give me your answer on that, my guy. OG, I want you to honestly elaborate on why Russell Wilson, being one of the best quarterbacks in the league, I'm not going to say he was the best last year or the worst. I love Russell Wilson. He cooks. Russell Wilson's team last year led the league in rushing attempts. What is the reason for that? Who, by the way, gets paid a couple $1 million more than Carson, I believe, or a couple $1 million less. Hey, shout out to Simone Stanley. She said Eagles need to retire the season, but she's keeping it plain as we all just stink, and we do stink.
Shout out to Simone.
Beyond Driven with the 49 Super Chat. We, in real life, wasted so many roster spots between keeping these old players on the roster, i.e. Alshon and Peters. He said, can we talk about Alshon?
I don't really think there's nothing to talk about. My man jumped like a mile too soon on that pass.
Yeah, look. Alshon's gone. Whether he played good or bad, and right now he's been playing bad, so he's definitely gone.
That play was so indicative of everything going on. Why are we throwing the ball on a 1st and goal? Right to Doug. Why is Carson floating it? It's a bad decision. And what was Alshon doing? Why were you leaving your feet that early? Like, even if he comes out that pass, he's going to have to break like 3 tackles. Like, bro, it's just so it's a great example of just like the extent of crap this season.
Yeah. Hey, JK, shout out to you, man. Yeah. I know you feel my pain. I feel you. But listen, I'm gonna tell you why. It's just something for him to, to blame on Carson, man. He tried to make it seem like he made an attempt for the football. And once again, I gotta look at it. You know what I mean? But from what I seen a bad attempt on that football. I don't know if it was too high, if he could have got it anyway. But what I can say is, let me tell y'all what's going on and that we really don't talk about with this football team. We have something that's hot that comes in that people haven't seen and haven't had tape on. A la Travis Fogel. A la Jalen Hurts. And when people get tape, is no type of switching things up to get these dudes into better positions. Once again, you bring in Jalen Hurts and nothing happens. I mean, he runs for 9 yards. So, yeah, like you could have just handed that off to your freaking running back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Once again, man, it's the play caller. It's everything that's going on with the team to me. You know what I mean? It's like you put your defense in a lot of bad predicaments when you don't score the football. Like this defense. Let's talk about this defense. Let's talk about how this defense is made. Let's talk about 2017. What are we made to do? When you talk about this defense and this defensive line, we are made to get a lead and then let our defensive line go eat. Pin their ears back because they know that they gotta throw the football. Could you imagine what Baker Mayfield would have looked like if he had to throw the freaking football? He was horrible in the first quarter throwing the football. The first drive, he was horrible. Could you imagine in the fourth quarter or even in the third quarter if we up by 10? If we're up by 10 and Baker Mayfield got to bring them dudes back, that ain't happening. Them dudes is going to eat. And shout out to them. They got a Baker Mayfield, you know what I mean? But when you look at it, what happened? They was able to keep running the football. And they stuck with it. Something that we did not do. Now, I said this was going to be a low-scoring game. I said nobody would get into the 20s. I did not know that the wind had stopped, but it still did rain. But they got into the 20s. First to 20, win the football game. And that's what happened, man. You know what I mean? And once again, Baker Mayfield, he didn't throw any interceptions. He didn't throw any touchdowns. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, nothing spectacular jumped out to me. Nothing spectacular. Nothing said that that Baker Mayfield and Carson Wentz, either one of them had any type of spectacular game. So when you look at it, this is all about the running game. And we said that pregame. We knew this was going to come down to who was going to stop the run.
Go ahead.
Now they stopped Nick Chubb the first half. I think he only had like 16 yards. I think Kareem Hunt had negative yards. But then, oh man, he got that one burst. He got that one 50-yarder that killed you. And then after that, it was just over. It was just over. You know what I mean? You know that straw broke the camel's back, man. Sometimes it's like that with a defense. It's like you fight. You give your offense chances to put up points, and then they don't. It's like, dude, what else you want us to freaking do? Now, when they finally turned the football over, we put up points, but you can't get turnovers every drive. We know that, but they were stopping them. You know what I mean? And that is deflating for a defense to have to sit there and say, damn, I can't get 7. I can't get nothing out of you for a half. We had a donut at halftime.
Hey, Mike, do me a favor. Pull up Oh God TV's comment from 623 because I want to address that.
I'm trying to get him to come on real quick so he can just give his take on it. But I don't want to put it on the chat.
So he's talking about too many turnovers. He's a turnover machine. That's not the coach's fault. Hold up, Oh God TV, because you're wrong. I'm not saying Carson is blameless in the situation, but I'll give you an example. In the Cincinnati game, we come out and we run a mesh route concept. That's a principle of the spread offense. It's commonly seen when you see in the college game. It's when those two crossers slap hands and crap. That's the mesh concept. Doug runs a wrinkle there to where he builds in a zone beater to that, which is a hook route. All right. In that route design, Carson correctly read the coverage as zone. But because we're so predictable, Doug's system is Cincinnati gave him that zone look, but then dropped back the linebacker right into that zone because they knew exactly where Carson would go with the ball based upon the coverage, based upon Doug's scheme. That is coaching.
Yeah. Look, we about to get out of here soon. If this guy hits me up on Twitter, we'll let him come say his piece. I'm going to let him know that, hey, yo, look, we can't. It's just all about talking. I just want to hear what he says, and I guess that's it, man. At the end of the day, I've been shot out. I shout out to my wife being a trooper. She got the kids downstairs, man. I've been upstairs since 11:30, bro.
So because he talks a whole bunch of crap and don't know what the hell he's talking about, like he's the guy to get to come on here. Like, man, listen, man, I dude don't even know what the hell he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like when you look at it, he just scream and not screaming, but he just texting a whole bunch of bull crap. Dude don't know what he's saying, Mike. He don't know. He don't know. I don't even think he believes the things that he's saying. He's just saying them because people are giving him freaking attention.
Correct. Well, I'm gonna say this though. Here's the thing. Regardless of what we say, and we still got 227 in the chat, and I would say at least 40 of these people in the chat 100%.
I'm a cooking. Don't worry about it. If you come up here, I'm a cooking. Go ahead.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying though. 40% in the chat agree with him, and that's why you said, Mike, why would you ask that question? Because the chat was so negative. I wanted to ask it to see if people is.
I seen two people say keep Hurts. I seen two people say put in Hurts. Should I say?
It?
Yeah, that's
a lot more than. First of all,
the problem with that question, they say put in Hurts, right? And I don't dislike Jalen Hurts, but you're setting this kid up for failure with this line, with this vanilla play calling. You're gonna get this kid killed. Like, it's not the right time for that, man. Like, Jalen Hurts might get his day, but you can't, like, you don't want to sit here and make the same mistakes. Like, you're not going to do him any favors right now.
Simone, you wasn't. Hold on, real fast. Simone, you wasn't in. I don't think you was in. But Mike asked, "Do you want to continue with Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts?" And I know you're a Jalen Hurts girl. So go ahead.
Listen. Yo, you didn't see it? I should have put them all up on the screen. There was a lot more Hurts than I thought, and that's where the chat is going. And I see a lot of people coming on here like, "Oh, gee, I agree." Listen, if you're going to ask me, has Carson Wentz played good? My answer is no. If you're going to ask me, do I want to see a different quarterback? My answer is also no. We're factoring a lot of things. We're factoring the fact that I also blame Doug. We're factoring the fact that our offensive line gave up more sacks in 11 games than we did last year in 16. Quote, 37 sacks gave up in 2019. 40 sacks gave up since tonight. Carson got hit more in 11 games than he got hit in 16. Is that an excuse? Maybe. It's actually not an excuse. It's a reason why he's beat up.
Yeah.
Anyways, the matter of the fact is this. A team that allowed 40 sacks in 11 games, which, by the way, leads the league by a margin. Do you think a rookie quarterback, he's more mobile, but you want to break him into the NFL like that? Come on now. You want him to get beat up like that? All I'm saying is this. The Eagles stink, but I'm going down with Carson because Jeff Lurie has to make executive decisions on everybody on this team. So you're like, oh, but you just love Carson Wentz. You're like, you're going to rock with him the rest of the season. Yes, I'm rocking with him the rest of the season. But Jeff Lurie, I think, has to think long and hard about every single player and every single member of the staff. Simple and plain. Whether that be Carson, Doug, Jim, Howie himself. Decisions got to be made. But you don't pull Carson Wentz. You ride it out. You have to see. We stink. You think Jalen Hurts is going to come in and beat the Saints, the Packers, the Seahawks? No, we stink. So let's play it out.
I feel the same way, man. I feel the same way. This season has set us back 3 years. I feel the same way.
No,
absolutely. Like, man, I don't know that we have exact answers on the offensive line yet, and that's concerning to me. That's really concerning to me.
I think Gates, and I'm glad that you're directing Jalen Williams. I think we do. What I would do, I will put and not just saying for the future. I'm just talking about right now. I want Jordan Mailata, left tackle. Jason Peters, left guard. Of course, you know who your center is. Right guard, Salamalu. And of course, Lane Johnson at the right tackle. I think that is stable. I think that's what you go with. Put that dude back to guard. He's not a. I seen this dude get bull rushed about 4 times in a row. Remember how we kept saying, Dillard. We understand Dillard, but Dillard is but when you put Pederson, Peter's not going to get bull rushed. How Dillard was getting. This dude is getting bullied.
Yeah, he is.
He's getting bullied. Like put him at guard, man. Like seriously, put him back at guard. You paid him his little bit of money. That's really all he wanted. You paid him his money. Put him back at guard. I think with that lineup that I just said, and Jalen, I want you to comment and let me know how you feel about that. With that lineup, I think that we good. But they keep wanting to put Peters at left tackle. He's not that dude no more. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got a point that we may not be putting people at the right position. I think could be completely apparent. But if Jason Kelce pieces out after this season, man, and now we don't have the answer at center, now we're flip-flopping look, if Brandon Brooks can be healthy and Lane Johnson can be healthy, I'm solid on the right side of the O-line.
Right.
Those two together are difference makers. But, man, if we start having uncertainty there, and then you got Suamalu possibly moving over from left guard to center, now you got to plug in left guard. Like, I don't know, man. I think Mailata is going to be good, but I would have liked to have seen Mailata get a chance to finish this season out, to get a chance to really evaluate this kid. And I don't think we're going to get that opportunity because of just stupid decisions, personnel decisions. I'm be real with you. Like, people were talking. I saw someone commented. Lamont had commented and said about McNabb didn't have a great offensive line. Like, look how bad he played in 1999, man. He wasn't good, man. He was like 40% of his numbers, man. Yeah. Like, McNabb was not good in 99. And then when you go into the 2000s, he had a great O-line.
Right.
Like, that's not it. Like, I just think, when you look at Jalen Hurts, guys, if you're going to play Jalen Hurts, then the kid deserves a real opportunity. He doesn't need to be the fall guy. And that's what you would be doing to him. You would be making him the fall guy. Because the kid is not prepared yet. We can talk about McNabb and you can talk about Jalen Hurts and you can say, hey, physically there's some similarities here. But as a quarterback in their development in their first year, McNabb was much further along. That's just facts, guys. It's nothing against Jalen Hurts. I think the kid actually is talented. But this kid is he's a work in progress. My concern with Jalen Hurts isn't the player. It was what the team needed. It was the fact that this team had a lot of things it needed to address. And then it took really risky picks in the second round and the third round consecutively. I like both of those guys independently as players, but I question the personnel decisions there, especially when we don't have a right corner. Well, we don't have a corner opposite of Slay, right? We don't have answers at linebacker. And we could have taken linebackers. We had opportunities in both the second and third round to take linebackers there, right? We could have used more safety help. We could have used linemen, offensive linemen. There was a lot of different ways we could have gone, and we didn't go there. There's a lot going on with this team, guys. There's so much going on behind the scenes.
You muted, Mike. You muted.
I offered OG to come on. Obviously, he didn't hit me up on Twitter. It doesn't take long to search at Philly Mike 25. So for everybody saying bring OG on, why you're not bringing him on, I offered it. He didn't do it. It is what it is. At the end of the day, we are Eagle supporters, but as mad as you guys are, we still got lives we got to live outside of this. So it's 6, about a 6:35. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to go. We stink. You got any last second thoughts real quick? Just, address those something real quick and then we out. There's
a lot of dysfunction, guys. I mean, we're going we're going to learn a lot about this team over the next few weeks because either there's fight in this team and there's not. And I don't know, man. I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm just hoping that there's fight in this team because, I know that, we could get, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could get like all these things. We can get all the, like this draft pit positioning. I don't know, bro. I can't operate like that, guys. I want to win. Damn draft positioning. I want to win.
Yeah, man. Just tune in. Just tune in this week. I got some fire coming. You already know it's probably going to be hoodied up, fresh, Grim Reaper fresh, the general all week. Because I got some people to talk about, man. I got some people to talk to. And I'm frustrated. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm frustrated. I don't understand. It's not like this wasn't a winnable game. I did not see not one winnable game. I mean, you want to say the Rams game? Probably. But I did not see not one winnable game that we lost this season. And that is so frustrating. It's not like in 2016. You know what I mean? I was watching the jail cell then. But when I was watching the team, I seen so many close games. You know what I mean? In 2016. And then we turned it around 2017. It's not like that. It's not like that, man. Because of the reason that we're winning football games. I thought last year, 2016, it was the lack of productivity and also the lack of players. You know, you got Dora Green, Beckham, Josh Huff, and Nelson Aguilar is your number one wide receiver and all that kind of good stuff. And you got Ryan Martin getting Matthews getting hurt. I think like game 6, game 7. You know, you don't got no running back. You don't got this. You don't got that. So, all right. But this is different. This is fireball fence things. This is to the point to where though I'm going to throw my freaking remote when I watch the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'm going to calm down, and I want everybody to make sure that y'all go sub up them guys on right up there. You know what I mean? Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Y'all already know how we get down. But right now, I ain't going to lie to you. I'm pissed. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all for not coming on, but thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate all y'all. Y'all already know, man. The general, man. Yo, that.
Facts. Man, shout out to Beyond Driven with the $14.99 super chat. I appreciate y'all for keeping it a buck. What's one positive takeaway from this game? Go ahead, let's answer this. He put it up there on the screen for a reason. Let's give him his due. Appreciate you, my guy.
Positive? Ugh. The time hit 0 and the game's over? I don't know too many positives from this, man. Like, look, I guess you could say that the team keeps fighting, but it's just not good enough. Like, I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of a way to spin it. Reese, help me out, bro. Can you think of something like?
I can. It's a couple positives. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I called out Rodney McLeod. I think he played a pretty good game. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think he played a pretty good game in the box, outside the box. But other than that one play when he got not spun around, he just ain't know where the hell the football was. When Derek Barnett left, Josh Sweat came up. Josh Sweat balled, man. Like seriously. I think this dude is a guy that is going to replace Derek Barnett. Will you try to sign him to a 1-year deal or something like that? You know what I mean? For his 5th-year contract, probably. But when you talk about Josh Sweat, I liked a lot from what I've seen from this dude. I like what I've seen from TJ Edwards. You know what I mean? They really wasn't putting pass protection a lot. And when they was, I want to say that they was barbecue chicken, but I don't really know. But other than that, man, it's really nothing else. It's really nothing else to like. It's really nothing else to like. It's not like I'm not going to sit here and say that Carson Wentz was a bright spot to me. I'm not going to say that. And that's what I need people to, and you know, I read your comments. I see the little sneak shots that y'all be taking. But I'm not sitting up here beating my chest saying that Carson Wentz was perfect. I'm saying he wasn't in a position to be better. He wasn't put in a position to be better. That's all I'm saying. And that comes with coaching. If you play football, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you just listen to these commentators tell you that he overthrew a guy when he's getting hit in the back. Like, Mark had me so freaking mad listening to him. Like, I was so pissed off at Mark. You played the game, dude. You know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to throw the football, but you know what it's like to hit a guy. And you know what it's like when you hit the guy, how that just messes up your throw. He did not overthrow that. Like, Mark had me pissed, man. If y'all know what I'm talking about the commentator of Fox. You know what I mean? He had me pissed. But yeah, that's really the only things that I've seen that I like. Go ahead, y'all.
Who they have in there? Schlereth?
Yeah.
Hey, the only positive I can get out of this is that the defense was in bad situations time and time again. They allowed some big ones. I told you guys our secondary is not as good as we thought. But we realized this D-line can legitly shut down running backs. We might not be able to stop the quarterback runs, the wide receiver runs, but we can stop running backs. Simple and plain. At the end of the day, the secondary is type suspect and everything on the offense is suspect. So the one positive I got is the defensive line, which is always a positive. And just the fact that our defense came to play. It wasn't the most solid performance, but guess what? The offense, 3 and out, pick, fumble, and guess what? The defense kept coming in here and giving us offense. Take another shot, because we had the ball as an offense multiple times with a chance to either tie the game up, take the lead, or get it within one. So shout out to the defense, but it's not enough. The Philadelphia Eagles in 2020 stinks.
Hey, Marcus Messiah, man, we've definitely talked back and forth a little bit. I don't agree with that, man. You're saying that Doug figured out that Carson stinks and he's calling more running plays. Well, if that was the case, where were the running plays following the first drive? Like, I definitely think that we should be devolving some of this out of Carson's hands and giving him more of a running game, making things work like play action. Because let's be real, when Eagles go to play action, I mean, it's kind of a joke. Like, I don't think anyone's biting on play action with the Eagles, man. Like, they're just not going to do that. Like, that's why the RPO stuff really isn't working so much. It's not really RPO. It's just PO. Like,
hey, real fast, before we get out of here, Gates, I wanted to ask you this question. Speaking of RPO, what did you think about that RPO on third down, the third to last drive? Like, and then Carson Wentz got set. I'm like, dude, like, you first of all, this is why I'm so pissed with Doug.
All right, real quick. We do got OG in the background. He did come in, so I don't want it to be long. And OG, I know you can hear us.
We waited for him. He can wait. Let me finish saying what I'm saying.
Go.
You like real fast, Gates. Like, I think like you know that they're coming on third down. Why would you set up an RPO? Like, to me, situational football is what boggles my mind with this dude. Why would you got to get the ball out fast, but in getting still, you want him to put, his offensive line. It's fourth quarter. His offensive line is barbecue chicken all game, but you want him to put the football in the chest of a running back, pull it back, look up at his routes, and sit there, survey the field, and then throw the football. Dude, what?
To me, like, the part of that question is I could understand it from a pre-snap perspective. Like, you call RPO just in case if they try to go zone on you or something so that you can hit them with a run real quick. But when you clearly see there's a blitz, you know what I'm saying? They're going to dial up pressure on you, and RPO is not the right call there. Like, Doug should be taking the timeout. I know you don't want to use timeouts in the fourth quarter like that, but when it's a big conversion down.
But they got this. Yo.
Yeah, I mean, something has to happen there. I agree. Something has to happen there. Like, I could definitely understand from a pre-snap read, like, you're looking at it and you're like, oh, okay, like, if they try to zone us, like, we might try to run it at them. But when you see that, like, oh no, they're bringing pressure, like, this is a pressure package they're bringing on us, then yeah, you probably shouldn't be in an RPO because you're just wasting time.
Exactly. All right, Mike, go ahead, man. Let him come into this pit fire.
All right, again. Hey, real quick, OG, unmute your mic, my guy. But listen, look, at the end of the day, look, I just want to say some things real quick first. Look, you got people who don't like Carson. You got people who like Carson. You got people who think differently. But at the end of the day, remember, you're not talking to Cowboys, Washington, or Giants. We all still Eagle fans. We just trying to find the right way. We just all think differently. All right. So let's keep that in mind that we are all legitly Eagle fans, diehards. Right. All right. Appreciate you.
No doubt, man. First, I want to say, man, I support all you guys' channels, and I think you guys need to be a little bit more, sensitive how you deal with people. Because I'm a supporter at the end of the day, even though I was going back and forth, in the chat room. I'm a diehard Eagles fan, but I'm just getting sick and tired of everybody making these excuses for Carson Wentz, man. Like, it's routine passes that this guy can't make. Routine
Can I ask you a
stuff.
question?
And brother, go ahead.
Give me some of the excuses that we make for him.
I'm just saying, you guys are not saying, look, it's Carson's fault. And here's one thing I want to say. If he would just make the routine passes, then we wouldn't be in these 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 14s. He's holding the ball too long. He's taking too many sacks. If he would just do what he has to do as a quarterback, we will be able to move the chains. We ain't asking him to be Superman, but when he keeps missing guys routinely, and the coaches and the team won't hold him accountable and bench him like they did McNabb years ago, it keeps pulling the team down. How much longer are we going to have to continue with this mediocre play with Carson Wentz? That's all I'm saying. You keep saying Doug. Yeah, I'm not saying Doug's great, but Doug did a hell of a job today, and Carson still messed it up in the clutch. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. Before you rebuttal your take, give us how Doug did a good job this game. Give us like your take on this is what Doug did that actually put us in a good situation. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, at the end of the day, he coached the game like he's supposed to coach. He puts the plays out there. I'm not saying that he's he could do better. But at the end of the day, it's for the players. Hold on. It's for the players have to execute. The coach only do so much. The players have to execute on the field. If Carson throws a pick or he fumbles the ball or he doesn't see a wide open Jalen Reagor and tries to pass it to Miles Sanders that gets intercepted, that's not Doug's fault. That's Carson's fault. Jalen Reagor was wide open. He just didn't see him. That's what I'm saying.
But hang on.
I'll give you that.
Here's my problem with some of what you're saying. You're saying that it's not Doug's fault. So when you're backed up on the goal line and you try to run a sail route that the whole league knows you run, and they fall back in the zone,
I agree with you.
And there's nothing there. You think Doug doesn't deserve blame on that?
No. I'm saying he does deserve blame on that. But when are you guys on this
you
panel
said he
ever
called
going
a
to say,
great
"No,
game,
what? Carson
man.
sucks"?
All right.
It's
Hold
ups
on.
and downs, bro. So it comes with ups and downs. I mean, he called a game that they shouldn't be able to take advantage and win the game. He didn't sync it up like he did the last few weeks. They shouldn't be able to win the game with the game that he called as a coach today. Is what I'll say.
All right. So
go ahead.
Let me ask you this: what plays did you see that Carson Wentz didn't make that you wanted him to make?
Besides the Jalen Reagor interception,
it was a few couple passes to foot. Right, that was big. That was big because it gave him that at 7. He overthrew Dallas Goedert maybe twice. He underthrew a couple guys. He didn't put the ball on Fulgham a couple times when he was open. He had the quarterback on his back, but if he would have put the ball in a better location, he would have had it.
Hey, can I ask
you guys can't? Let me say this real quick. Hold on. What you guys can't dispute? Hold on. What you guys can't dispute? You want to be into all your stats and everything. See how inaccurate Carson Wentz is. He's like the worst inaccurate quarterback in the league right now. Go check the stats on that. His accuracy sucks. Yeah. Can I get a stat on that one?
Yeah, that's not true. But let me tell you this. First of all, hold on. I'll let you go. Hold on. First of all, I've seen Fulgham drop 2 passes today. That's uncharacteristic of him, but it still happened. And let me tell you something. He is under pressure about 75% of the times he drops back. Do you want to talk about him leading the league or the offensive line leading the league in quarterback pressures and quarterback hits and sacks? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about the fact that this dude, hold on. I'm gonna let you go. You want to talk about the fact that this dude was second in the league last year and rolling out as a quarterback and making plays, and your coach that you say called a good game still doesn't roll this dude out. You want to talk about the fact that he don't run a freaking football. You want to talk about the fact that when you're put in a situation to where as though your offensive line is not doing a good job. When your offensive line, hold on. When your offensive line is not doing a good job and they are giving up safeties, not safeties with an S, but a safety. They're giving up sacks. You don't you don't run a ball, you don't roll your quarterback out. You don't do the things that need to be done, like quick passes. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, real quick, OG. Go ahead, rebuttal that. And I just want to ask you a couple simple questions then. All right, go ahead, rebuttal that.
Nah, I mean, a lot of it I agree with. They got to design some schemes to get the ball out quicker. But at the end of the day, your quarterback can't keep turning the ball over at this rate, period. Like, if we didn't turn the ball over today, if Carson didn't throw that, we may win the game if he didn't throw that interception today. He has, what, 39 fumbles? 39-something fumbles, something like that? That's
not this year.
You guys are not, holding them accountable.
Hey,
over
OG.
his career, right?
OG.
Why are we not? But like we say that, right? And I agree with you that Carson is turning the ball over way too much. But in the same light, on the first drive of the game, Miles Sanders turns over a ball in the red zone. That's 7 points off the board, more than likely, right there too. Like we're not holding other players to the same standard we're trying to hold Carson to.
Correct.
And that's my problem with it. Is that
that's not true. That's not true.
OG. Let me ask you this though. Look, I don't know how much you watch my actual videos. I don't know how much, but look, I've been very critical of Wentz in the sense that Philly Fresh called me out in the pregame. I know you weren't there, but Philly Fresh called me out in the pregame because I said that Baker has had a better year than Carson, even though I would take Carson over Baker because I know the talent's there. Here's my thing. Look, I don't know if you're a Sixers fan. I don't know if you're just Eagles or you're just Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers. I don't know, but I do know this.
I love them all, man. I love them all. I love all the.
So are you trading Ben Simmons because he can't shoot?
I'll be up for it. Somebody better, definitely.
All right. So, all right. Let me give it to you this way, then. Look. Let me give it to you this way. Look, OG.
What?
Carson Wentz hasn't been good, but how can you explain this? That the same offensive line that he had last year, minus injuries, because injuries happened this year, he was sacked 37 times in 2019. That's a lot. He's been sacked 40 times in 11 games. So listen, 2019, 16 games, bro. He got sacked 3 more times in 11 games than 16. And so that is going to speed up your.
But here's the thing, though.
Hold on. Let me just finish this.
Some of those sacks are always not. Some of those sacks are. All right, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, hold on. Some of the same sacks last year was Carson Wentz's fault. So it was Carson Wentz's fault last year, and some of them for this year. But there's no reason that it should be this big of a dramatic effect difference. The fact of the matter is, we're on pace to have a 50+ sack season, and that's bad. And here's the thing. Any quarterback in the game under this pressure is going to change their mechanics, change their body language, throw high, throw low. Guess what? In 2017, when we all praised him, he threw high and low. Go back and check it. Boy missed some passes, but hold on. Let me just say, he makes the play when it comes down to it, and he hasn't done it this year. That's why we're so awful. But listen, bro, let me just ask you this question. If prior to this game, because I don't know where we're at now, but if you got a running back that leads the league in yards per carry, right? Now I'm going to say, why do we have to run the ball? But, and again, I know you said you don't care about Russell Wilson, but here's the thing. What I'm trying to say is Russell Wilson is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, and his team felt to get Russell Wilson playing the ball right, you got to run the ball. So if Russell got to run the ball, if Gate City said that so far this year, the Kansas City hot offense has run the ball more than the Eagles, and the Philadelphia Eagles are in first place at yards per attempt with Miles Sanders, why not run the ball? And then guess what? Second place now. And then you see 8 run attempts. And then for the rest of the game, 13. So we run 8 run attempts in 5 minutes and 13 in 40 minutes. So what I'm saying is this. Carson Wentz didn't play a good game. OG, you got that out of my mouth. But I'm also saying his game could have been better if you just run. Why? Why did you stop? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. Let me address it. Can I address your point? Let me address the sack thing first. When you talk about the sacks are not always on the offensive line. The offensive line, they got a certain amount of time to block, and that's it. You got to get the ball out. The quarterback's holding the ball too long, like Carson Wentz does. Some of those sacks are on him, not all of them.
Some of them are long developing plays too. Just okay, I'm sorry, but the play calling is long developing.
Finish, bro. I'll let you finish. Please let me finish. You're gonna let me lose my train of thought. If a quarterback's holding the ball long like Carson does, sometimes the sacks are on him. When you talk about running the ball, I think why the Eagles get away from it is because they're always playing from behind.
One possession game
starts playing from behind, they pass. But they're behind still. But there's one possession too, and you got to make something happen in the air. We're talking about Doug Pederson. He's a pass-happy guy. That's what he's going to do. I'm not saying that I agree. I'm not saying that I agree with them doing that. But when you're playing from behind, teams tend to pass the ball in the NFL. It's more of a passing league, right? Right or wrong? That's all I'm saying. So I just wanted to answer both of your points right there. But go ahead, somebody else go.
Hold on. Let me just do this. OG. Why did Gate City just bring up stats? And I can't remember them exactly, but so far, Patty Mahomes and his offense ran the ball more than. What I'm trying to say is this. Freddie Fresh got mad because I didn't let him go. OG. It's a passing league. I agree. But if you are the coach, which he sees what I see, what you see. If you see your quarterback struggling, why wouldn't you go more run heavy? Which I'm not saying. You're saying, well, you saying that is saying Carson Wentz is struggling. Bro, I said Carson Wentz is struggling, but I also think the play calling has been basuda. It's been bad. We are 29.
Fellas. It's time to bench him. I don't know if you guys watched the Eagles post game. I forget what my man's name is from the Eagles, the old linebacker. Slipping my name right now. He said it's time. Seth Joyner. He said it's time now to bench Carson Wentz. I couldn't agree more. I think it's time to sit him down and let's see what the young guy Jalen has, man. At this point, he can't do no worse. At this point.
Yes, he can.
That's all I'm saying. He has to be held accountable. No, he has to be held accountable. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Hold on.
With all due respect, man, I've coached this position. I don't dislike Jalen Hurts, but you think Carson's footwork is bad? This kid's footwork is a disaster. Like, this kid is not ready for the spotlight yet. He might have an opportunity, but if you put this kid out there with this offensive line, with this horrible play calling and design coming from Doug, you're going to get this kid killed. He's not ready for that. They're going to run some RPO stuff with him. They'll do some read option, but then teams are going to come up and they're going to shut that stuff down and they're going to force you to throw. And that's where this kid's going to get in trouble. He's not ready for that yet.
You don't think he can throw the ball? How
it's
do we
not
know, though? How do we know
ball, man? His mechanics are highly flawed at this point, man. He has a really elongated delivery of the football. His footwork is really bad. It's gotten better since he took some snaps in camp that I can see a little bit in game film, but he's not an NFL quarterback yet. This kid still has a ways to go. Am I saying that they shouldn't at least send a message to Wentz? Yes. But Wentz has got to be your guy. He's got to be the guy that you have to let play the season out because you're talking about long-term financial consequences on this roster.
Exactly. Hey, OG, and it comes down to this, though. When the play's not right for the coach, for the quarterback, for every single player on this offense, the O-line don't get to not have blame. Doug Pederson don't get to not have blame. Carson Wentz clearly gets blame. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I blame him. I blame everybody on the offense. But what I'm trying to say to you is this. This guy can't feasibly be cut until 2022 with us coming out of our heads above water. So what I'm saying is you're asking for something. If we bench him, right? You're putting a lot of money on the bench. Yes, it's holding them accountable. I'm not bad for like a sit and a half. If the dude is struggling, sit them a half, sit them a game. The season's over, but at the end of the day, you have to figure out how to go with Carson Wentz to at least 2022. And so here's my thing though, and I'm gonna draw back to this. Carson Wentz has always missed high and low, but he showed talent. And I think under different circumstances, he can bring the talent back out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe I'm right. We're not going to know. But $100 million says, hold up. What $100 million says is we got to find out, or us as an organization is going to be in trouble. We're going to put Jalen Hurts in an offense where guess what next year? We might lose Zach Ertz. We might lose an offensive line piece. We might lose Brandon Graham. We might lose pieces because we're in a hole. So good, bad, ugly, sad. This team bought in for the Super Bowl run, and we haven't been on one. And so we're going to be suffering, and you got to figure out where Wentz is. And even if you can portray some good football, if you are dead set on moving them, you got to portray some good football to get out of it, because there's going to be an offensive coordinator that will take a chance on Carson Wentz. They got Teddy Bridgewater. They take Jimmy Garoppolo. They take Alex Smith. There's going to be a coordinator in an offense that will give a shot for Carson and maybe get him up out of this contract. But you got to show. You can't show no confidence in him. And even if you keep, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, OG.
I just think that, man, it's like it's too much. Every time you guys say Carson, well, but this person, Carson, but no, it's on the quarterback. Because when the quarterback wins, oh, he's this, he's that. As soon as he, it's a bad game, oh, it's the team. No, the quarterback has to make the routine plays. The quarterback has to will the team to win. Carson is the key to this team winning. Period. We can't keep absolving everyone else and say, oh, no, we have to put blame where blame is due. That's what I'm saying. So I think that Carson, how much longer? You guys are saying a whole nother year of this mediocrity? A whole nother 16 games of this? It can't work, man. I think you got to go, and you got to put him on the bench at this point. What's going to change this? In your opinion, what's going to change this? Different play calling, a new coach? I don't know, man. I think this is in Carson's head right now. I think all of this is completely on him, and it's up to him to turn this thing around. Period. That's just the way I feel, man. But go ahead. I can go ahead, man. I appreciate it.
Go ahead, Gabe, if you got something.
What can change it? Simply put, simple fix would be devoting yourself a little more to the running game. I'm not asking for a 50-50 mix. I'm asking to be more honest and more open with when you run the ball, because you keep trying to run an RPO throwback. That's not working, man. We're not running 51 to 49%, which is why the RPO was so effective. Like, we're not doing that now, but yet we're still trying to act like that's going to be effective. We're still running these same plays. I promise you, Guy TV, if I can pull that up on the screen for you guys and break down this route concept for you, do you honestly think these NFL organizations don't have 1,000 guys like me doing that for them? Like, it's the system is stale.
Absolutely.
The play calling is horrible at times. Like, I'm not saying Doug never schemes stuff open. I'm not saying that Carson's footwork doesn't get completely atrocious at times. It does. Like, he's not a highly accurate quarterback. It's not his game. Neither was McNabb, but McNabb proved you could win with him. Like, that's not Carson's game. It's not who he's going to be. My problem is that Doug has not adapted to Carson. And it's not fair to keep throwing this on him like this. Like, you're not moving the pocket with this guy. You're just simply not getting plays open for him. You're not designing receivers open enough. You're doing really basic rub routes that every team sees coming. Like, we're just not doing enough for him to judge and qualify yet. I understand that the offensive line stuff is not necessarily on Doug. We suffered a tremendous amount of injuries. This is a really tough season for O-line play. I get that. But he's not making any adjustments either. And he's the head coach.
Yeah. And real quick, OG, look. You got both me and Gate on here. And I'm going to say, I mean, again, I don't know how many videos you watched of mine. Ask 2020 Vision just said, OG God TV, hands up to you. But he also said the same thing to me when I was saying Carson Wentz in 2020 has not been good. OG, bro, I said it. But here's the thing. This team is not a quarterback away from winning. The O-line is trash. Play calling is trash. The team is not good. So what I'm saying is, if you put Jalen Hurts in, we're going to lose. Maybe a different way, but we're going to lose. We're going to lose under Carson. We're going to lose under Jalen Hurts. The fact of the matter being is we're tied to Carson for another couple long years with some big money on it. So we have to exhaust options. You know, you listen, if you put your life savings into a car, you know the car's trash, you're still going to try to salvage it before you get rid of it. Am I right or wrong, my guy?
I agree, man, but he got to come out of this thing, man. Like, it's too much at this point. I'm waiting every week. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. Like, come on, Carson. And he's just, I don't know, man.
Oh God,
I don't know.
Like, but the thing is, oh God, is like
back then. Actually, I thought back then that the. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Oh God, I'm sorry, man. I thought you had stopped.
Brother.
OG, call him OG because that's weird. Oh God.
No,
so what I was saying is that okay, we can look at Carson's decision making, right? And we can say like, hey, you shouldn't have thrown that ball. And there are times I agree with what you're saying clearly, but at the same time, it's like when the picks are happening, some of this stuff's on the receivers too, man. Like I pointed out the first Washington game, that Hightower pick. Look, you look at that, you break it down. Carson saw ghost in that one. Washington feinted pressure. They made it look like they were going to be in pressure, and they backed off of it. Carson read the pressure. He went right into a hot read, which was that route, okay? They were playing cover 3 off. They were in the perfect position to get that ball if your receiver makes a mistake. Hightower's not a veteran guy. He's still learning. Like, he's a good route runner, but he's still learning nuances. He didn't sell the route very well. He didn't sink his hips to get back to the ball well, and the corner beat him. I'm not saying you absolve Carson of the blame there. I'm saying that they're with better receiver play in that exact instance. That's likely not a pick, right? Go to the JJ one in the end zone in with the Rams game, right? I agree with you. Carson shouldn't have thrown that ball. It was unnecessary in the moment. JJ also ran a horrible route that probably led to that being very easily picked off.
Yeah,
could have got himself in position to deflect to that. Once again, we've been calling Wentz out for these decisions. I've made videos where I've talked about Wentz's decision making. I said, hey, man, sometimes he's seeing things correctly, but he's taking really risky plays. He's being really risky with the football. I've said that. I agree that he does hold the ball too long, but I'm also not going to say that 40 sacks is because Wentz is holding the ball too long. I'd say 5 or 6 plays where there's been a sack, Wentz should have definitely got the ball out of his hands.
Correct.
That's not, you know what I'm saying, but that still leaves you with like 34, 35 sacks and like week 12. Like it's not good. Like the O-line plays has been really bad. I know that early on in the season, we could have made excuses to say the reason we're not running the ball is because we don't have the offensive line personnel to get a push. And I get it. Miles Sanders was out for, that first game. I get that. But in the same light, man, like it's happening week after week. And like these last 2 weeks in particular, it's offensive that we're not running the ball. We played pretty solid once this season. We know that scheme. We know they run a cover 2 man under system. We know that's a hard system to pass on because you have to throw in tight contested windows if you're throwing outside. Instead of doing what Andy Reid and Kansas City are doing, which is a very similar offensive concept to us, they have different personnel. I'm not saying the personnel is the same, but it's a similar system and scheme to what we run. Instead of us using the running game when these defensive backs have their back to us and daring them to, in return, come up and stop the run, we don't do it. We set Carson up to be in these really bad positions. He played within the scheme. He played within the system last week, and he took a lot of criticism for that. We go to this game. I'm not going to say the weather conditions dictate you absolutely have to run the ball in this game. It's rain. You can still throw the ball in rain. The wind conditions were But when you start your game plan out, where it was clearly game plan that you wanted to run the ball, one fumble shouldn't deter you from sticking to that. We moved the ball on them. Carson was in a rhythm. He looked good throwing. These are the problems I have with Doug Pederson. I'm not saying Carson is absolved of blame.
50-50.
Doug could fix a lot of these problems with better play design, better decision making himself, as much as we put it on Carson, because Carson makes some questionable decisions. I'm right there with you on that. He's a risk taker. That's what he is as a quarterback. We all know that. But Doug's not doing enough to mitigate these things. He's compounding these problems and making them worse.
Ain't OG. Go ahead. Go ahead, OG.
Yeah, I definitely could agree with that. I agree with that. But go ahead. Somebody else could talk, man. I'm just listening now.
No, OG. And all I'm saying is this, though. Look, it's all right to be frustrated with Carson Wentz. It's all right to be frustrated with this whole team. It's not been playing good, bro. With 3-6-1. Disgusting. But here's the thing, OG. What if you put Hurts in for the remaining, what? We got 5 games? Remaining 5 games, and he's pooped too. Well, now you got 2 poop quarterbacks. What are you doing?
Well, you always going to go through your growing pains as a quarterback. You always got to go through that anyway. So I would rather see that and to see what happens next year, with the young kid, rather than getting the same old Carson every week. I just can't see it. Maybe it can be worse, but I just can't imagine it being worse than it is now.
Yeah.
Man, you got to show me.
The results may not change, OG. The results may not change. It might still be L's, but the play could be a heck of a lot worse.
Yeah, and here's the thing, OG. I wanted to say this to you. So here's the thing. Are you saying, after watching Carson Wentz this year, which has not been pretty, that there's no way he can go back into a guy last year who carried a team with practice squad players, who makes 1 or 2 great plays a game, a guy who could be mobile, a guy who can come into his own? That's what I'm saying. Is like, do you think that's 100% gone?
It's impossible. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's gone. I think I was right along with Brett Favre when he said they should have kept Nick Foles. I was one of those guys back then who said they should have kept Nick Foles because he had the hot hand. Nick Foles was the one who won us the Super Bowl, not Carson. Yeah, Carson got us there, but I truly believe Carson, if he would have stayed in, he wouldn't have been able to win.
Yeah, but hold on.
The Super Bowl. They should have kept Nick Foles. They should have traded Carson away and got the picks.
All right, but let me ask you this, OG. Look, Carson Wentz stayed with the team under different coaching. Hasn't been the same. Nick Foles left under different coaching. Hasn't been the same. And you can say, well, Nick Foles needs Doug Pederson. No. You're still forgetting that Frank Wright was there. And again, Doug Pederson called the plays in 2017. He called the plays in 2020. But he had a supporting cast that he trusts. There's an article that I'm going to put underneath this that anybody wants to read, that Frank Wright and Doug Pederson would sit in a room for 6 hours alone, disguising the game plan. So still, yes, Doug physically called the plays. That's why I'm so astounded. Like, why is he such a bad play caller? Because you still got to call him in rhythm. Yes, Frank Wright set up the playbook with him. They put the plays in together, but Doug called him whenever he wanted to. Maybe he had Frank Wright in his ear, which we don't have anymore. But at the end of the day, Doug Pederson was the play caller in 2017 too. People don't realize it. He was. It wasn't Frank Wright calling them plays, but Frank Part was an intricate part of it. And again, 6 hours in alone with a room, 2 guys, they better be talking about football. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, look, this team is different. This team is not the same. Nick Foles actually has talent on the Bears. You could maybe call it equivalent talent to the Eagles on offense, especially when we were hurt earlier. Maybe not now. Their offensive line is beat up a little bit, but everybody stinks.
Yeah. At $82. That's not true, bro. I'm sorry. First off, you left out Alshon Jeffrey, who was pretty pivotal that year. And then also, Jay Ajayi's knees weren't gone in 2017. That happened in 2018.
Facts. Hey, but
LeGarrette Blount was here. Like that. I'm sorry, man. Like, it's got to be, like, come on, man. You got to be reasonable.
And I want to say this before OG God goes. Nick Foles' Super Bowl ring and Carson Wentz whole season was with the 3rd overall rushing team. So OG, Nick Foles had the 3rd best rushing team. Carson Wentz had the 3rd best rushing team. And as Gate City said, we ran the ball 49% and threw the ball 51%. So there was a 2% difference. Now we got a 19% difference. It's a different offense, my guy. Go ahead, OG.
Well, the thing is, I think the thinking behind that, honestly, with Doug is he knows that he has a more capable and talented quarterback in Wentz as opposed to Foles. Foles had limitations, so I think he's trying to. He can be that. I think Wentz can be that guy who can pass the lights out like a Mahomes or whatnot, or one of those other quarterbacks. He's just not showing it for some reason this year, and I think that's Doug's thing. Like, we're going to use this talent. But I do agree they should run the ball more. I'm all about running the ball. The running backs we got, man, like, but Doug's just not going to do that. It was like Andy Reid when he was here. That was the big knock on him. He just wouldn't run the ball. He wouldn't run the ball. He kept passing. I think it's going to be the same way.
But OG, this is the thing, my guy. Real quick, I want you to continue. We did do it in 17. We did it. Doug was part of a third place Russian team. Doug was a part of a system that ran the ball 49% of the time, almost half. Doug called the running plays 49% of the time in 17. And now he calls the running plays barely.
Yeah.
And what's the percentage this year?
Go ahead, Gate. You have it, or you probably remember.
It's like 59 to 41%.
So 59% pass.
Bad, but okay, yeah.
But it's a big difference.
60-40 basically.
Yeah, it's 60-40 instead of 50-50. You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is the formula for Carson Wentz. Again, OG, you say you shouldn't have to roll your quarterback out every play. I agree. I think if you roll him out early, Carson will make passes in the pocket. However, this is the thing. If your run game is scary, if you have a scary run game, what works best off the scary run game? OG.
Are you asking me to answer that?
Yeah. If you have a scary run game, what works? OG, if you have a scary run game, what works off the scary run game?
Say it again. I lost you, Sam.
All right. If you have a really good run game, what works off the scary run game?
Oh, you're talking about a good running game, a play action. If you're talking about a good running game, play action pass, right?
Correct. And play action means what? The quarterback is doing what?
He's going to be rolling most of the time.
Correct. And so again, I don't need Doug to roll Carson Wentz out every single play. But I need if we run the ball the same way we did in 17, and we're as successful as we are in yards per attempt, which is second in the NFL. In yards per attempt, we're nowhere near top 5 in rushing because we don't do it enough. We do it good when we do it, but not enough. So if you run the ball good and you roll Carson Wentz out on play action, well, you're getting the defense to bite for the good run game. You're getting Carson Wentz on a run where he's good, and you're getting him comfortable in the game that he will deliver late in the game in the pocket. We're just not seeing the complete body of work of Carson Wentz and Doug Pederson on the same page. That is my thing. And so, again, because he costs $100 million, I can't just get rid of him now that our team is set back, as Jalen Williams said, 3 years where we're looking like a bad team for 3 years because we're broke and quarterbackless. And so if Carson Wentz is really not that guy, you're going to hear from me because I support the shield, my guy. You know what I mean? But I just think it's more than just him not being that good.
I think that I think they're going to hold on. I think they're going to hold on to Wentz, in my opinion, and get rid of Doug if it keeps going like this by the end of the year. Honestly, I'm not saying get rid of him unless you can, unless the deal was like great. But it's something. A lot of stuff has to change around him, and it may be the coach at this point. But he's got to do better. I think he just has to do better, man. Or it's not going to be good for us.
It's frustrating.
It's too much talent. Our team is pretty talented, man. It's frustrating, but the team is so talented. It's like, man, what's going on? You know what I mean? So it's just a rough situation. I thought this year would be a Super Bowl year, honestly. And it really could be how weak the NFC is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I always think every year is going to be a Super Bowl year, to be honest. But here's my thing, though. We talk about benching him, right? But we talk about benching him to get him under control, right? To get his head cleared. My problem with doing this isn't that discipline shouldn't occur. isn't that Carson shouldn't be checked when he's doing things wrong. Is I don't feel the coach is in the building to coach this kid. I don't think you have a John DeFilippo here to get the best out of Carson. So I don't even know if that's going to matter, man, because I don't personally, I have absolutely zero faith in Press Taylor. I don't think this guy can coach. And I hate to say it because he's an Eagle. I want to support the guy, but like, it just doesn't lie, man. Everyone has regressed under him. Everybody.
Yeah. And look,
any
OG,
player,
I'm gonna let
any
you
player
speak
that
real
you
quick.
have, any player, look, I'm gonna say one thing real quick. Just real quick, I'll be done, man. Any player on any level, Pee Wee, high school to the NFL, if you're not performing, you get benched. So we can't. It got to be the same thing for Carson. If you keep turning the ball over, like somebody made the analogy of if Slade keeps getting beat every week, or Peters gets beat every play. Eventually, he's going to go on the bench. It should be the same thing for the quarterback. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Y'all got it, man. Appreciate y'all for letting me speak on the show.
Hey, no problem. And I agree. Every player needs to be held accountable. But you're also talking about the highest paid left tackle. He's not the highest paid, but if left tackle is making $6 million a year, and a guy who's making $36 million a year, who's really tampering with your cap. So the team decided to go all in him. And none of the fans were really crying about it back then. Maybe some of us were. I don't know. All I know is this, bro. You know what I mean? You bought a car, you still financially need to pay it. Whether you put the car in the garage and never use it, you can't buy that new car because you're still paying the car you bought that you don't like. So it's like either make the car work or we're all in trouble. It comes down to this. The Philadelphia Eagles have put bad product on the field. Gate City's been the best at actually breaking it down. Gate City's not afraid to say when Carson makes the mistake, when Doug makes a mistake, when the O-line makes the mistake. We all do. And Carson Wentz is not being absolved from all his problems. He's part of the problem. My video Saturday was saying, these are my 3 topics on my video. Carson addressed the team. That's cool. Doug versus Carson, which I gave 50% Doug, 50% Carson. Some people hate me for it. Some people love it. Some people say, no, it's all Carson. Some people say, no, it's all Doug. I'm a 50-50 guy. And with that being said, go ahead, Gate, and then we way past our bet.
Sean Brown. So Sean, he wants to know, like, what would be the harm in benching Carson for one game? It's not. I'm not thinking about this in terms of harm or effect. I'm thinking about this in terms of coaching. You bench him, ideally, is to send a message and to coach the kid up. I don't feel the coaches are on this team to coach this kid up. I have no faith in Press Taylor as a coach. I don't think this guy knows how to coach the quarterback position. I just don't. I don't see anything that gives me confidence in this guy. Like, I just don't. He doesn't have a track record as a coach, okay? He hasn't had a product on the field that's been warranted of that. If you had a John DeFilippo here, yeah, I would say, look, man, get this kid on the bench for a game. Get this kid on the bench for a quarter, a half.
What?
Like, let him talk with John DeFilippo. Let John DeFilippo be in his ear talking to him. But Marty's not even on the field.
What about Marty Morningway?
I hear you, but he's not even on the field.
I mean,
I don't even know what that guy's role is.
I mean, then he coached McNabb.
Yeah, what I'm saying is he's on the payroll.
Let me say one thing to Philly Fresh.
Can
I say one more thing to Philly Fresh?
He's not in the building.
Philly Fresh, if you're listening, man, you got to make a video. He'll see it or hear it. You got to make a video and tell the fans how Carson Wentz is robbing the Eagles. Since you said that my man Hargrave was robbing the Eagles and Peters was robbing the Eagles, you got to make one about Carson Wentz robbing the Eagles. I'm gonna leave there.
Hey, I listen. From talking to you, I understand. This is what I got. I got a guy who is intelligent enough to understand what's going on. I got a guy who deeply loves the Eagles. I got a guy who first came on saying Doug called a good game, but then also said that Doug needs some criticism. But I also hear a guy who's just super frustrated that we're not winning. And low key, as a lot of the media will do it, if you're not winning, it's because of the quarterback. And every quarterback gets the same scrutiny, so I ain't mad at the game. But hey, listen. Carson Wentz will be on the Eagles in 2021. And if he stinks, well, OG, come let me know about it. But if for some reason there's changes on this team and this guy's balling out, this thing is being recorded and never deletable. I got you, my guy. Hey, but look, with that being said,
I hope so. I hope. Yeah,
hey,
I
with
hope
that
so.
being
I
said,
hope he does turn it around, honestly. But
hey, that's cool. It's cool. Sometimes it's tough love, but Philly fans know how to do too much tough and forget the word love. But look, Philly Fresh, I respect his opinion 100%. You know what I mean? That's my guy, 100%. And he ain't wrong to blame others. I'm not saying he shouldn't blame Carson more or not, but Philly Fresh knows his amount of football, and what he says is seeable. It's we see it regardless. So look, with that being said, Gates, say your goodbyes. OG, I appreciate you for coming on, my guy. I'm gonna let you go though. You heard?
All right, OG, man. I appreciate you coming on,
peace,
bud.
man. Much success
Peace.
to y'all.
All right, Gate, go ahead and end it because I'm dead tired.
Look, my perspective is, man, I think we got coaching issues. Yeah, we got personnel issues. Yeah, we got player issues. But I think the larger issue is coaching, guys. I'm not going to lie about it. It's just not a good product we're putting on the field. When you don't put a good product on the field, at some point, at some time, man, you got to like look at the coaching staff. Like, there's something going on with this coaching staff, man. They're just not adapting to personnel. I know some of you guys are saying you don't feel that Carson is the type of quarterback that fits Doug's system. Well, the thing is Doug was here when we went and got him in 2016.
Yep.
That decision should have been made differently then. Like, you have to fit your scheme to the personnel you have. Like, I'm just tired of seeing, around a square peg being trying to fit into a round hole. It's getting exhausting to watch it as a fan. Like, it's ridiculous, man.
That's
like,
fact.
It's like playing Operation with a 3-year-old. Some of y'all that are young guys don't know what Operation is, but touching the side, buzzing the buzzer every 5 seconds. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Like, this coaching staff's got to be better. And I know that Doug is not like trash as a coach, but this scheme right now is trash. I'm not calling Doug trash. I'm calling his scheme trash right now. The scheme is not good. The way he's tried to adapt game plans to the personnel hasn't been good. Like, he's got to do better, man. I don't want anyone to get fired except for Press Taylor. I'm not going to hide that. I don't like Press Taylor, but Doug, I know that Doug can do it if you put him in the right circumstances. I know Carson can succeed if he's in the right circumstances. We got to get the right people in here, man. And there's a lot going on, guys. Like, there's so much going on. Doug not being able to choose his coaches, to me, that's shady. Let the man choose his coaches and live and die by the decisions he makes. If he wanted Mike Groh to be here, Mike Groh should have been here. I don't agree with it. It ain't a choice I would have personally made, but this man's he's got to go down the way he's going to go down. Like, there's so much dysfunction, guys. Like, I couldn't even get into this in a 3-hour live stream. There's so much to cover.
Hey, and I agree. And I'm going to end it by saying this. Blame whoever you want. The Eagles stink. And I'm sad to say it. It breaks my heart. But the Eagles stink. With all that being said, I appreciate you guys for coming in. Look, make sure you smash that like button on the way out if you're still here. We still got like a couple hundred people in here.
Mike, hang on. All right, Jim Schwartz. I'll make a video on these last 2 games about the third down offense and what's going on. Since I called your D out, I'll do it on the offense.
Facts. Shout out to Jim Schwartz for being in my, even inside my play-by-play, just keeping it real. The defense came up to play, regardless of what anybody wants to say. Look, I appreciate you guys. Eagles stink. I'm sick. I'm going to bed at 7:30. Love you guys. Appreciate you. You know what time it is. We out.